John Tiegen, welcome to the show, man.
Thanks for having me. You might regret it, but we'll see.
I don't think I'll regret it. But yeah, so we've talked a lot about Benghazi on the show. And, we've had our former colleagues on, the people that you were there with, the ones that came public anyways. And so you're kind of the last one of the stack. And I've been really looking forward to this, man, ever since we talked, a couple months ago.
Yeah, it's been
So I appreciate you coming in.
Thanks for having me on, man. Appreciate it.
My pleasure. My pleasure. You ready to get into it?
No, but I guess I got no choice. I'm here now, so.
All right. Everybody starts off with an introduction. John Tiegen, a Colorado native and former United States Marine Corps sergeant, a seasoned private security contractor starting with Blackwater in 2003, later joined the CIA's Elite Global Response Staff, also known as GRS, a hero of the 2012 Benghazi attack. You are one of the 6 GRS operators who defied orders to stand down, fought through 13 grueling hours of chaos, and helped save dozens of American lives. Co-author of the best-selling book, 13 Hours, The Inside Account of What Really Happened in Benghazi. A dedicated husband and father of twin sons, and most importantly, out of everything, you're a Christian.
Yes, sir.
Am I missing anything?
I don't think so.
Well, I can think of something I'm missing. You're running for mayor in Colorado Springs.
Yeah, I am going to be doing that.
So we'll definitely hit that up. And a musician?
I'm definitely not a musician. Or should I say magician? Is that what that one? Do you remember that interview? I don't know if you saw that one. Anyways. Anyways. I would say more, I don't know, I wouldn't call myself a music writer. I just kind of wrote some stuff down. I think I posted a couple of the poems online, and actually David Corlew got a hold of me. He said, "Hey, you need to do a voiceover on this." So I was like, I hate hearing myself because I don't watch my own interviews.
Me neither.
Yeah, so you do it the Philly. So I'm like, okay, fine. But I started reading it, and I didn't like the way it flowed, so I started changing it up a little bit. Then I had another buddy hit me up, said, "Hey, you should throw it in, make it into a song." I was like, I don't know how to make anything to a song. So he told me about a program, said, put it in here, it'll like sing it to you. And that's kind of how it came, that he started changing the lyrics around and kind of make it sound good. And that's kind of where it came from.
Well, it sounds good.
So I don't think I'm a music writer, but David Corlew, he's going to work with me, I guess.
Right on, man. He's a good dude.
Oh, he is.
How long have you known David for?
Probably since when did we meet him? I think it was in the book tour. Met him and Charlie. We went to the Grand Ole Opry. I think it was 2014 when we first did the book tour.
Damn, right on. So
2014, 2015, sometime around there.
10, 11 years.
Yeah. He's
a good man to know. I've been buddies with him for, man, I don't know either. Less time than that. It was right when we moved here, so probably around 18.
Yeah.
But what an awesome guy.
Oh, he is. He's really good. He's a really good cat. So,
well, a couple things to knock out here before we get into the interview. So I have a Patreon account. It's a subscription account, and
kind of like OnlyFans.
It's kind of like OnlyFans, except I keep the majority of my clothes on. So now, if I was in my 20s, we'd probably go the full gambit. But
you could do the foot thing at least. I heard that's a fetish.
But they've been with me since the very beginning. A lot of them have, and it's turned into quite the community. And so one of the things I do is I offer them the opportunity to ask each and every guest a question. And so this is from Ian Lane. It's a good question. You've seen firsthand what happens when politics and hesitation cost lives. Do you think America is any better prepared today, or are we doomed to repeat Benghazi in a different place at a different time?
Yeah, I would say yeah. Because if you look at, just through the history of what things have happened, when I would say leadership is not truly held accountable, nothing changes. But, it really just depends on the administration that's involved and, what their mindset is actually changes it. But until people are actually held accountable and for even just for somebody being killed when they just promote somebody or just reprimand them. Again, your leadership and you're in that position, and that is your responsibility to make sure that they have what they need to make sure they come out alive. And, you know, if somebody gets killed because of your lack of leadership, your lack of oversight, you should be held accountable to where, again, on voluntary manslaughter, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Until stuff like that happens, it will happen again.
Yeah, I mean, it's fucking sad, man.
It is. I mean, it's a tough decision to make, but again, you're responsible for the lives of the people on the ground. You know, like Lamb, they're requesting for stuff, and I was in Benghazi since 2011. They were requesting for more support, you know, talking to the security guys, because we'd go over there almost every week, you know, and they would say, yeah, we always get denied, and asking why. They would never tell us why. And again, this is from their mouths. And, you know, when the consulate was attacked the second time over there was only 2 security personnel over there at that time. You know, I believe this was like in April, and it happened about 1:00 in the morning. So I was there that night, so that's how I know. And we got told to stand down then. But again, when stuff like that happens, you know it's a security risk. You know there's failures, and you don't do anything about it. Until people are held accountable, nothing will ever change.
Man, it's just crazy, you know. Do you remember when the coast bombing was?
Yeah.
What year was that?
I want to say 2010, 2011 or something. No, I think it was 2010. It was like around, it was Christmas.
Man, I remember working over there, and it was just the same mistakes everywhere.
Oh yeah, and you'd bring it up. I did it too. You know, and I actually went somewhere else. I was supposed to go back to there, and yeah, we kept telling them, like, we got to search these guys when they come on. No, they're our friends, they're our buddies. Yeah. So again, it's like, but yeah,
it was like I can't remember. Excuse me, I can't remember if it was your event in Benghazi or if it was the coast bombing, but I remember deploying in a Christmas time frame. I think it was right after Christmas, and I feel like it was the coast bombing that had just happened, but it may have been Benghazi. But I remember getting over there, and I was just like, guys, like, we're time and place predictable. We're doing the same shit every single fucking day, you know. And I was brand new.
It was probably coast.
It might have been coast, but whatever it was, I had brought that up, and I was like, we can't be doing this shit. Like, this is. I was new at SOC. I just went from Blackwater to SOC, and then eventually went direct. But I was like, we're going to get fucking killed. Like, you guys just saw what fucking just happened. Mm-hmm. You know, we got it. I'll be damned, 24 hours later, a safe house got hit. And, you know, luckily nobody got killed. But, dude, it was just the same thing over and over, and the same excuses like that. Well, no, we don't search them because they're our friends. Or, oh, well, you know, we've been doing this for years. And it's like, yeah, that's exactly what we need to switch it up.
Exactly. But, so it's, we never understood that at Coast. Never understood that at all.
Were you at Coast when it happened?
No, I went to another location, but I was at Coast 3 trips in a row. Because normally you go back 4 times, but then I had the golden visa, so I went over there.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. Man, I can't believe we never worked with each other.
Yeah. It's crazy. I went to more forward bases. I was in Kabul, like my first trip. Then after that, it was out the other locations. Did Iraq twice, and yeah.
I hated Kabul.
Yeah, I hated it too.
I like the outstation.
Oh yeah, way better.
There's a lot more going on than
yes. Too much flagpole crap in Kabul, man.
But well, a couple other things. Everybody gets a gift. Oh, yeah, he perked up for that one, didn't you, Axel?
All right. You want to smell?
Easy fellow. But
it's mine.
So, yeah, those are Vigilance League gun bearers, legal in all 50 states. Not that you have to worry about that in Colorado. But,
right, yeah.
But, yeah, it's just candy. And then I got another thing for you.
All righty.
So I got a buddy over at SIG. His name's Jason, and I told him you were coming on, and he got all excited. He wanted me to give you this. So that is the SIG P211 GTO. It is SIG's first 2011 style pistol, and they did a damn good job.
I like the
Good
weight.
job. It's heavy,
And,
isn't it?
I like it. I carry the Legion.
You do? The 365? Yeah. Which Legion?
The X.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's a big. This is. I mean, it's about the same weight. I just like heavier guns, man.
Feel that trigger, man. Yeah, they got the compensator up front. Redid their optics line. Hey, buddy.
That is nice. Ooh, reset's nice.
Yeah.
That's crisp.
It's good to go.
I like that.
Not that you need that with this guy running around you all the time.
You know, he's
Although,
he's a very good deterrent.
I'll bet he is. He's got my ass in line, that's for sure.
Oh, this is sick. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah,
That's
man,
awesome.
you're welcome. You're welcome. We'll break it in on a break.
Right? Heck yeah. This be my first one. Nice. Yeah, I got the compact and the X, and now I have this one.
Nice.
Nice. I like SIGs.
Me too, man. Me too. They make a great firearm.
They do.
But all right. So let's get into the interview. So like I had mentioned.
Oh, I thought we were done.
Thanks for coming. Yeah, so like I said, I want to get into my favorite thing to do, my bread and butter, is to do life stories on gentlemen like yourself. And so do a life story, get into your military career, how you got into contracting, GRS. I would love to talk about, obviously, what happened in Benghazi, and then everything that you're doing now, including running for mayor.
Okay.
So where did you grow up?
Well, I was born in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, so I lived there pretty much until about third grade or something like that. So, and that's actually where I wanted to join the military. Not really having the good, get structured family life. You know, mom worked at a bar, just all that stuff. So she was there, never really there at night, and always slept during the day. So I guess it was kind of fun. But oh yeah, I guess yeah. Maybe some stories I probably shouldn't say on here as a kid. But so there was a Army recruiting station across the street, and we lived like on the main Ave. Not for a long time, but one of the main was on the main Ave. So right across the street was the recruiting station. So to and from, usually from school, I'd always go there because, you know, parents went home anyways. Plus they always had snacks and posters and, you know, patches they'd always give you.
Yeah.
So I always hang out there. And so that's kind of, but it was with the Army. And it was actually, I wanted to fly the Apache helicopter.
No kidding.
Yeah, that thing was just badass, man. You know, then plus Airwolf was out, I think, at that time too. So if you don't know what Airwolf is, yeah, you know, go look it up. But TV show. But anyway, so, unfortunately, about fifth grade, I had to start wearing glasses. So, yeah, that's kind of when I was
Done.
decided, yeah, I was done flying. I'm like, no, can't fly. But no, so I grew up in Iowa. Did a lot of stupid stuff as a kid there, even young. We used to jump trains,
Used to do what?
jump on the trains to go from like one part of the town to the other because like our cousins lived on like the south end. We lived on the north end kind of thing. So the trains wouldn't go, they go like 10 miles an hour. They weren't hauling ass. So you just jumped the train. We knew the schedule. Again, you're looking like at third grade.
Damn, dude.
Yeah. Damn. So Cedar, I mean, it's a pretty good sized city, and you know, go on the other side. Time to get late. You knew the train was coming. You had to get on the train. Otherwise, you had to pretty much walk back. It sucked.
Damn.
Sometimes the family would give you a ride back, but not always. They're kind of douchebags in a way.
Was your dad in the picture?
No, he left. I think when I was born or something like that.
Have you met him?
Yeah, I think I finally met him the first time, like in sixth grade. I think is what it was.
Holy shit. What was that like?
And just, you know, it was awkward. It was weird, but, you know, I actually went out. I think it was, might have been fifth grade. I think I met him the first time. But anyways, I went out there one time and I was going to try to stay out there and live, but that didn't turn out very well either.
Why not?
It kind of goes back to, well, growing up, again, violent, kind of being physically abused and stuff like that as a kid. So when I went to my dad, kind of on a different kind of scale, but he kicked me one time because I spent $2 more than I should have. And I said, I'm not going to live here. I could just go back home. At least I got more of my friends. So, because at the time he was in California. So then kind of went back from California back to Colorado. That was in 7th grade.
You were physically abused as a kid? Mm-hmm. By who?
3 different people.
Adults?
Yeah. Well, no, I'd say one was more of a, this was the first one. It was in Iowa. I would say kindergarten time frame, but it was our babysitter.
What happened?
I don't know if we're really going to detail into it, but she would just kind of just do things, I guess.
Sexual?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Holy shit, dude.
And then, well, the physical side was more from our stepdad. You know, he'd beat the shit out of us. Sometimes he'd come home drunk, and if he had a bad night, pull us out of bed and whip our asses. I just remember the belt, and it had metal rings in it. So he said he used it because they with the holes because it'd fly through the air faster. So
Just for no reason.
yep, he just had a bad night, or we left dishes in the sink or something like that.
Jeez, dude. Who was the third?
Well, the other ones was more of a sexual abuse kind of stuff, but you know, my mom's boyfriends used to pretty much hit all of us. You know, I mean, we were unruly for the most part, but
How many brothers and sisters do you have?
I had one older brother, older sister, and a younger sister.
And they all got it.
Not my younger one. I don't think she really did.
What about the sexual abuse?
I don't think they did. I think it was just me. So, yeah, and the other one again was in Iowa as well. It was again close friend, and then the last one was in Colorado. I think I was going into 5th grade.
Jeez, Tig, you had 3 different fucking sexual abusers by 5th grade?
Yep. 2 of them the family didn't know about. They only knew about the last one.
What
The
did they
other 2
do?
never got caught. What's that?
What did they do?
So how that guy got caught, we were up in Gold Camp Road in Colorado, and actually my cousin was there, and the guy, you know, he bought his liquor. He was a stock car driver or something like that, one of those little short speed track racers. So he was pretty well known, I guess. We didn't really know because it was like our 2nd year being in Colorado for the most part. And but anyways, so we were up there, and he started playing like a truth or dare game, and he's like, you know, truth or dare. I can't remember exactly what it was, but I think he pulled his pants down. That's when my cousin grabbed me, and we took off. You know, people in Colorado know where Gold Camp Road is. You know, we pretty much went from Gold Camp Road, and we hiked it back to Manitou Springs, and had the cops called, and that's kind of how that went. But come to find out, he was doing that to a couple of other kids, but they let him off saying there was not enough evidence.
Do you mind if we dive into this a little more?
Go ahead.
You know, it's just, I totally wasn't expecting this to come up. In fact, when we just reviewed the interview, he said, "Oh no, he had a great childhood," and but you know, I can't believe how common this is in people's childhood, and you know, I found it out through interviewing. I'll bet 50% of the people that have been on here have been through physical or sexual abuse as a kid.
I think that's why it's probably more than that. Just ones don't talk about it. You know, like if you look in the military, a lot of I bet you majority of them that had a semi-rough childhood were probably abused in one way or another.
I mean, in out of that, I mean, there's only so many. A lot of times this will come up after the interview or before the interview, and they don't want to talk about it because they've made amends with the abuser or whatever. But I mean, so anyways, kind of where I'm going with this is, you know, I've learned like how common this is. through interviews, diving into childhood, and it just keeps coming up. And it's always, almost always as a shock because it just comes out. And so I hate hearing that. And I started diving into child sex exploitation and child trafficking and abuse and all that stuff, and kind of exposing how common it is.
It's bad.
In today's society. But what I want to ask is, if you don't want to go into detail, that's fine. I totally understand, and I'm not going to press you on it. But one of the things that I like to do, because we've had so many of these stories come out, is talk about kids that are in that predicament right now as we're sitting here talking.
Yep.
And fuck, man, 3 abusers by the time you're in 5th grade.
Yep.
How do you get?
Well, for the first 2, you don't really think anything's wrong. Honestly, hell, I was so damn young. I don't know if anything's wrong or not. I think the first one stopped just because we moved. She was the babysitter, and again, I don't remember exactly why, but she was babysitters during the day, mainly during the summer. Could have been maybe because school started. She couldn't come over no more. But for me, even though I was running for mayor, you going through and they're teaching you about the things that's going on in here, and I'm like going, when these things happen to me, none of this stuff was brought up when I was a kid. I remember, going through the problems and stuff, and for like kids that are going through it, I originally didn't want kids because I didn't want to have to deal with, my own kids going through the same shit that I did. So
Jeez.
That's why I waited till 35 when I had enough close calls to say, well, I better have kids if I want my genes to continue. So again, that's why I decided. Other than that, it's just like, man, society's just fucked up.
Yeah.
And we don't protect our kids. You do have some parents, again, they'll see somebody doing something to their kid and they'll go kill them. And then what they got to do, they got to go spend time in court, which I think is horseshit. Somebody's hurting your kids. That's our number one asset in this world is our kids. That's our future. So to allow things like that to happen, that's why I was kind of afraid to have kids, because if somebody did that to my kid,
you kill him.
I'm going to kill him. So, I talked to my kids about it. They don't know my history, but I always made sure I let them know. That was the biggest thing about the last guy was he would use, again, what, 4th grade, you're what, 8, 9 or something like that. You still don't really know. So there's, again, he was like, if you tell anybody, I'm going to kill you, or I'm going to kill your brother and sister. Cause we was in an apartment and he just lived like right upstairs, and he was a pretty big guy, he was bigger than my mom's boyfriend. So, as a kid, you don't know. So my biggest thing is telling my kids, if anybody ever tells you to keep a secret, let me know. Cause you know who I am. I'm going to kill them. I got no problem telling my kids that. That way they don't have to fear somebody else.
Jeez. So with the sitter, was this like an everyday occurrence, or every time she babysat?
Every time. So it's pretty much just during the week.
What would she say to you? Would she say, "Don't tell anybody, or I'll kill you"?
Yeah. They all said that. Don't tell anybody. That's the biggest thing about telling the kids. Anybody tells you do not tell anybody, there's a problem. Especially as a kid. You shouldn't have to have a secret as a kid.
Jeez.
So again, that's just parents actually having those conversations with their kids just to make sure. Even going back to the whole crap that they're teaching kids in school, forcing that LBGT, all that hidden stuff. Same thing. If anybody says don't tell you should be telling your parents, because they're doing something that is wrong, period.
Did you wind up telling anybody?
About the first 2, no.
And the second guy was upstairs in an apartment?
No, that was the third one.
Who was the second guy?
That was in Iowa. He lived down the street, and I just remember it was that one only happened twice only, but it was just because I spent the night. He had a kid the same age and stuff like that, and I think they worked in the bar with my mom or something like that. So.
And the third guy lived above you?
Yeah.
How would that happen?
So he had again, they say they're going to take us to the racetrack or something like that, and that's when it would happen. Or again, he said he could watch us or watch me. He never did anything with when the other kid, brother and sister were around. But so take you to, he had a used car lot right on not Fillmore, right on Platte, kind of next, really close to Union. The building's still there, but obviously he's not. But that's where, again, that's when things would happen mainly there. So I try to not go, but again, sitting there telling you, don't tell your parents or I'm going to, kill you, kill them. So you don't tell them why you don't want to go. So sometimes you still had to go.
Shit, dude.
So.
And physical abuse.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking A, man.
Yeah, there's people who've had worse than me. But that's probably why I was so kind of protective, I guess, and violent growing up. So.
Who are you protective of?
Just like other friends, other people being picked on and bullied and stuff like that. So.
Did your mom have any idea that this was going on?
No, but I do. So when she finally, when everything kind of did get out in the open, the cops are called and all that. I do remember when I think I took off. When was this? I might have been like in 8th grade or something by now. As a kid, we don't really have a curfew or anything. And I think I was out and I remember coming back and I was coming in through the garage and usually they're up and partying almost all the time. So they were up. I remember I don't know why they were talking about it, but I know my sister was there talking to my mom about it. And, she was kind of, because I was getting in a lot of trouble. And my sister was probably, trying to explain to my mom, I was like, well, it's probably this stuff. He probably needs to go see somebody. And I just remember her sitting there saying he needed to quit using this as an excuse and just get over it.
Your mom said that?
Mm-hmm. Of course, they didn't know I was out there. And then I was just like, I just kind of said, fuck this. And I just took off and went to my best friend's house and just stayed there for a few days.
Jeez. Are you close with your mom now?
No, I really haven't talked to her since like 2000, maybe 4 or 5.
Why did you quit talking to her?
That's another story. So got a stepdaughter. I'm on my second marriage, but my previous wife and had a stepdaughter, and she was getting into a lot of trouble and just kind of doing her own thing for the most part. And we were disciplining her and came to a point, I think her mom she was in Kuwait at this time. And so I was kind of at home and we were getting ready to go back to Kuwait. Cause I think I came back to pick her up to bring her back to Kuwait. It was, something like that. And she was constantly running away and stuff like that. And one time she just kind of disappeared. So we're calling my younger sister, my mom, trying to figure out where she might be, calling her friends. Well, got a hold of her friends, and her friends were saying that my sister was picking her up from school every day. So this is why her grades were failing. So I called her and said, do you know where she is? And she's like, I haven't heard from her, yada, yada, yada. Well, me and my buddy went over there at night and just kind of went around her house because we just kind of assumed that's probably where she was. Sure enough, we heard her voice in there. And so we called the cops. Cops came. I just remember my mom coming in. She didn't say hi or nothing to me and my buddy at all. The cops just sitting there as we're talking, explaining what was happening. And, my mom just comes walking by really fast and cops like, who's that? And that's my mom. She's not even going to say anything. Probably because she knew she was there. She had been gone for like a week now. We've been trying to look for her. Well, obviously, cops get involved. Child Protective Service gets involved. They start talking to her. Next thing you know, I'm being looked at for for molesting stepdaughter.
What?
So they had convinced her that if she told them that I was touching her, that she could leave and come live with them. And that's when I was like, fuck you, I'm done talking with you guys. Because that does more than what they think they thought it would do. Because that destroys somebody's life. This is when, again, I was getting ready to actually start working with the Blackwater and all that, doing all my background. You get something like that, you're done.
Jeez.
So
Life insurance isn't exactly a fun topic, but it's one of the most important. I'm always looking for simple, stress-free ways to make sure my family is protected. Fabric by Gerber Life makes it easy. Fabric by Gerber Life is term life insurance you can get done today. Made for busy parents like you, all online, on your schedule, right from your couch. You could be covered in under 10 minutes with no health exam required. If you've got kids and you're young and healthy, the time to lock in low rates is right now. There's no risk. There's a 30-day money-back guarantee, and you can cancel at any time. Join the thousands of parents who trust Fabric to help protect their family. Apply today in just minutes at meetfabric.com/Shawn. That's meetfabric.com/Shawn. meetfabric.com/Shawn. Policies issued by Western Southern Life Assurance Company, not available in certain states. Prices subject to underwriting and health questions. Sleep is one of the most important parts of my health, both mentally and physically. Since getting my Helix mattress, I've noticed a huge difference. Before, I never felt fully rested. Now, I'm sleeping through the night and waking up refreshed, and it's made a real impact on my life. If you're looking to upgrade the quality of your sleep, now is a great time to try a Helix mattress. Helix is the award-winning mattress brand, and it's recommended by many for improving sleep. Helix is made to fit your body type and your sleep position, and they can recommend which mattress will work best for you. And right now, you can save when you decide to buy your own Helix mattress with this offer for my listeners. Go to helixsleep.com/SRS for 25% off site-wide. That's helixsleep.com/SRS for 25% off site-wide. Make sure you enter our show name after checkout so they know we sent you. helixsleep.com/SRS. How would you internalize all the abuse as a kid?
It's just kind of one of those things that you can't control it. You know, one thing I knew wasn't my fault, so I never had that, never felt anything like that. My thing was just like, where was the protection that you're supposed to have? Where are all the adults? You know, especially after when they let the dude off, and I was just like, this is just fucked up. You know, it was just this when I kind of knew like I had to be my own protector. And pretty much from that moment on, I was.
When did you realize it was wrong?
When my cousin yanked me out of the car. And I think I kind of knew because I didn't want to go anymore. But again, I didn't know what to do, what to say to anybody. So I think during that time, I think I knew it was wrong. But
Why did your cousin yank you out of the car?
he was 2 years older than I was. And I think he's just kind of like, you know, like, yeah, fuck you. Plus, he's kind of part Indian, so he has that mentality.
Damn, man. Damn.
So
what did, where I'm kind of going with this is there are a lot of kids out there that go through this. I have no idea how many, but it's an overwhelming amount. And, one is too many. What advice do you have for kids that are dealing with this right now?
Find somebody to help you until you do, honestly. If you don't trust your parents, again, you can call 911 and you can tell them. Find somebody.
Damn, man.
But a lot of the problem is that there's so many people that cry wolf out there that it hurts the true people. It really does.
Yeah. Yeah.
So again, don't, just because somebody's, I guess, you don't like them, don't do that shit to them either, because it destroys their lives.
Man, I'm sorry I had to go through that.
I mean, I would like to change things, but it also made me who I am. So it's kind of hard to say, would you?
Yeah.
Because I may went a whole nother direction, did something else. And so.
Damn. Would you talk about it with your siblings? Any of the abuse?
Mm-mm.
Sexual or physical?
No, we talked about getting beat by our stepdads and stuff, and how he was an asshole.
Did you ever stand up to him?
No, I know I didn't. I think my brother might have, but then he just beat you harder. That's all they would do. I mean, we're kids, or the size difference. It's amazing. It's not much you can do about it. I know my mom tried to stand up for us a couple times, but I know he put her in the hospital a few times, throwing down the stairs and all that stuff. Separating her shoulder and all that.
Shit, man. You witnessed all that?
Mm-hmm.
That's heavy stuff, dude.
Yeah, foster homes ain't that great either. Same thing. They're very abusive.
You've been in foster homes?
Yeah.
How did you wind up in a foster home?
Mainly, I think the babysitter once left us as when I was in first grade, around first grade. And we were asshole kids, man. We were intense. No discipline, no supervision. And she couldn't deal with us no more, so she called the cops. My mom, again, she was at the bar. Nobody could get a hold of her, so the cops came and got us. Foster home for about a week. For that one, again, that they were just, again, kind of same thing. Very, very abusive, physically. And then the second one was physically and sexually again. So the worst one, though, is like that one, my mom was in the hospital. I don't remember exactly what for, but I remember them walking us there so we could see her from the hospital room, which was kind of cool, I guess, as a kid. Walking back, I didn't have any shoes, and I stubbed my toe and I ripped it open pretty good. It was pretty gnarly. Screaming, crying, couldn't walk. So they were nice at that time, but then when we got into the house, they beat the shit out of me because I was crying.
Damn, man.
Yeah.
That's a rough childhood. Jeez. What got you interested in the military? Was it an escape or?
Well, again, I think I already kind of had it from the recruiting station. Just kind of seeing them, compared to my own family life, seeing how they portrayed themselves, I guess.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I wanted. But again, how I kept wanting to do it from pretty much, you're looking like second, third grade time frame when this is going on. And then still wanting to do it, all through all the other stuff. I think I just always wanted, I did like a lot of reports in high school on Vietnam War and stuff like that. Did a lot of look into that, how they fought and stuff. And it just always intrigued me.
What's your relationship like with your dad now? Is it non-existent? Do you guys
No,
talk?
he lived with me for a long time. And he was actually watching one of our house when we were overseas doing a lot of contract work and stuff like that. But then I got divorced in 2023, and then he's kind of out on his own now. So pretty much about like 2006 till 2023, he lived with us. So I had a property out down in Pueblo County. Had a in-law house. So that's kind of where he stayed. So he kind of watched with the cattle and stuff like that while I was gone, and so he did some help around the house or around the property.
How do you think that abuse has affected, if it has, your adulthood?
I'm pretty sure it has in one way or another. I mean,
I don't see how it couldn't.
yeah, I mean, I don't think I have that. My wife would probably say the romantic lovey thing. Pretty rough on the edges for the most part, but definitely don't, trust. Really, a whole lot of trust.
In anybody?
Not really, so. I mean, I trust her and my kids.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But, just been so, again, betrayal, it's been there forever. Even one of let's say the second stepdad, so when you're a kid, you get a job, you can't open a bank account. You have to have a cosigner. So he was the cosigner on the account. And I started work when I was like, when he could, like 15 or 14. And so I was just saving up money. Making a lot of money, but I was saving up. I think I was supposed to have like $4,000 to $6,000 in the account. And I was probably the only kid in ninth grade that had a car. But I went to go because the battery died. So I went to go buy a battery, and I kept getting denied. So I called the bank. There was no money in it. He stole all my money. No.
Damn, dude.
So my boss actually, he would just cash my checks for me and just give me cash. I quit my bank accounts until I could actually get my own account.
What are your relationships like with the rest of your siblings?
We talk here and there, but they don't. I don't talk to my younger sister. She was part of the whole problem with the stepdaughter. My older one, she lives in Ohio, and then my brother, he works for the post office, so he's always working. It's kind of like somebody in the military. You just never see him. But just kind of like with Oz and Tonto, we just kind of talk every now and then, hit each other up.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you guys talk about what happened nowadays?
No, I think we did once, me and my brother, when we were drunk. It's usually when you're drinking, talk about it.
Man, I hate hearing this shit.
Didn't expect that, did you? So
Not at all. Not at all. But I'm glad we went there, so thank you.
again, my thing is, so I used to kind of keep almost everything to myself, but you always hear you got to tell your story because somebody else is probably going through it. They're going through something worse. They don't know how to deal with it. Don't know what to do, especially with kids.
Yeah.
So my biggest thing is, my best thing to do is tell it because more kids might hear it because of who I am, and more again likely to finally say something is happening and it shouldn't be happening. So it's better for them. I mean, for me, healing, it doesn't really heal me at all. It's just, it is what it is. There ain't nothing I can do about it. Can't change it. I dealt with it. It is what it is again. But it's, for me, letting kids know, or even adults know, again, it's not your fault. At least I did know that growing up. I knew it wasn't my fault. But talk about it, get it out. Otherwise, that demon is just going to destroy you. And for kids, find somebody to protect you. Talk. Tell somebody it's happening. There's nothing wrong with you. It ain't, just make it in. Stop it by telling somebody.
What were your grandparents like?
My grand, oh,
Is this a generational thing? That's what I'm getting at.
I don't think so. I mean, my grandpa, he World War II vet, my grandma, they were just stubborn people. That's on my mom's side. I didn't really know my grandma. On my dad's side, I knew my grandpa. He was a Christian guy the whole time, that I've known him or knew him. My grandpa, he was just a stubborn old guy, just a mean, grumpy guy.
Sounds like my grandpa.
Yeah. This dude, oh my God. I don't know how he lived as long as he did either. He was in so many accidents. He fell down. So he worked at Quaker in Iowa. He fell down an elevator shaft, down all the pipes down below, I think 4 stories. Lived, walked out. They got in a major car crash. Again, metal just wrapped around him. Lived, walked out. This dude would not die. I remember when I stayed them one summer. What was it? I was listening to. I was watching a TV show. He wanted to listen to music, so he would turn his shit up. I would turn the TV up. And he would tell my grandma, "Go tell that little." I could hear him. Go tell that little shit to turn that off and get outside. He was a happy guy, but no, I mean, they were just kind of mean. They were never abusive. They were just, disciplined, I would say.
Old school.
Yeah, just old school.
The reason I was bringing that up is, you see a lot of families, if that's what you want to call it, but, this gets carried on from generation to generation to generation. It becomes like a generational curse.
Yeah.
In fact, I got somebody on my team who's been through a lot of that kind of stuff. Sounds like a very similar situation. And so, what I want to ask, and I always commend him because I know where he came from. And, I guess I can't say I know where he came from and know what it's like to go through that because I didn't I was fortunate. I didn't have to go through that, but I always tell him how proud of him I am that he broke the curse
Yeah.
and that his kid is doing awesome and won't have to experience any of that. At least not
I
from
think for a
family
lot of people that
standpoint.
do it, that's a lot of their fear, I think.
So what I want to ask is, and that's why I was asking about your brothers and sisters too, to see if they were able to break that. And so with you, I just want to ask, what does it feel like to break that in the family lineage?
I mean, knowing my kids, it feels great knowing my kids didn't have to go through that. I mean, it's something that I'm glad they never have to experience. But a lot of times when you do break it, if you never talk to them about it, it can come right back. So I think that's all. It sucks to have to talk about it, but talking to your kids about it, even if because you don't know if they're going through it or not. I guarantee my mom had no idea, obviously. So I think having those conversations with your kids and letting them know, like, hey, people shouldn't be touching you here, touching there. And if they say don't tell anybody, you better tell somebody. Regardless if they threaten your life or someone else's life, because they can't do nothing to you.
Yeah.
I guarantee it. They can't. It's
Yeah.
just an empty threat. Especially knowing what I know now.
Man. Scary shit, man. Scary shit.
Yeah, because the moment law enforcement gets involved, again, the scene, it's not a Hollywood movie. They're done. I mean, they may get away with it, but you're gonna be pulled away from that environment completely.
Yeah.
So either way, you're still protected.
Yeah. Man. Well, once again, man, I just thank you for going into that because I think it's important to talk about, for the upcoming generations.
Oh, yeah.
And it seems to be happening more and more and more as time goes on, or at least it's exposed a lot more. And
Well, it goes back to like I was saying, the accountability. They think people cannot be. There's no rehab for that. They should never see daylight ever again when they do that.
yeah,
That's the problem.
I'm with you. So let's get into the military stuff. When did you join?
So I decided to join the Marine Corps when I saw Full Metal Jacket. So I think I was 89 or something like that when that popped out. So I knew I was going to join. I still kind of was going to do the Army. But being the hoodlum that I was, I saw that. I was like, I need more of that. I knew it. So I'm talking about the boot camp scene, not the after. I don't really watch the whole combat part. I just like the boot camp, and it's awesome. Maybe I'll see if I can find it. But I got a picture of my kid. Now I still watch it. I was downstairs watching it, and it just kind of started. My son literally stood there during the whole entire boot camp part of the movie and was just watching. Then I stopped it just before Gomer freaking whacked himself. So I was like, okay, how'd you like it? He said that was cool. I'm like, see?
Oh shit!
So I ended up doing the delayed entry program in the Marine Corps. You don't go to boot camp, but it does kind of help towards promotion. So I did you kind of sign a thing saying you're going to do it. And you have to go through like the weekend stuff. So that kind of helped me stay out of trouble. And then November of '95, I went to boot camp, and I'm gonna tell anybody if you cherish holidays, don't go to boot camp during holidays. It'll ruin it for you. I used to love Christmas. No, I was just kind of like, Our Christmas tree was a red lens flashlight in the tree,
Nice.
and we had to sing "Oh Christmas Tree" to it. So boot camp I thought it was easy, man. I mean, if you're physically fit, to me it was a cakewalk. I mean, I didn't mind getting yelled at. I got slammed a few times, but I just giggle. Just like, this is awesome.
What did it feel like to get the hell out of your family predicament?
So I kind of left when I was in ninth grade. I moved in with my best friend's girlfriend's parents. So I was when I got my job after my stepdad stole that crap from me, I kind of just said, I'm done. And I left, moved in with a stripper when I was 16.
What?
Yeah. And
How did you meet a stripper at 16?
one of my mom's friends.
Was your mom a stripper?
No. I don't know how they met. I think it was over drugs.
Holy shit, dude.
So moved in there with them and then with her. And it was all normal at first. And then it turned to more of a relationship. But then I ended up moving out and actually moved into the back of the restaurant that I was working at. So I had a bed back there and I was just go there and I'd sleep. Did that for a while. And then I moved in with my best friend's parents, his girlfriend's parents.
So you met a stripper who was a friend of your mom's and moved in with her.
Yeah, she called the cops on her and tried to get her for all kinds of stuff. But again, at the like statutory rape is what it was. But nothing was actually happening at that time anyways. I just wanted to get the hell out of that place. You know, she had already had drug raids done on her and stuff like that. So I just had to get out of there. So, yeah.
How old was the stripper?
24.
And this turned into a relationship?
Yeah.
I mean, what's going on in the house that you're living in when you're living with a stripper? What
What do you mean?
is it like, what the hell was happening? Did they come home and there's a party every night, or?
No, actually, she didn't throw any parties in her house at all. In the apartment, she never had any. They're always across the hall. So we just go over there and hang out with those guys more than anything.
Jeez, dude.
Yeah. But no, I mean, it was just a good way to get out. One of my best friend ended up moving in there too, as well, for a while. Yeah, it was weird upbringing, but
Why did you leave there?
it just wasn't very good, you know. Kind of, I don't really know how to explain it, but it just kind of, I think it was more of the relationship side of it, where again you couldn't go out and she was going out, kind of a thing. And then I know she had drugs. Again, I just hated the drugs scene just because of my parents. So I was like, screw this, and I moved out. My boss again, he said, you can go stay back here in the storage area. I mean, put your bed, put aside a bed, a dresser, everything back there.
Man.
I'd just take a shower at school until I moved in with my best friend's parents, and then it was really jacked up. And my junior year, and I was playing football, staying with them. I had a 3rd-degree separation on my shoulder, and I had to have surgery. Well, it came to a point where they actually had to go and yell at my mom because obviously they don't really have custody over me. So she had to sign the paperwork for me to actually get the surgery done. So here I am. I have my bones sticking up like this for about 3 months, and I'm in a sling. And I finally got the surgery done. But yeah, they had to force her to sign the paperwork for me to get the surgery.
How the hell did you find Christianity through all of that?
I think it started as a kid. We always went to church and stuff like that. And I always liked the music. It was just weird.
All this is going on and you guys are going to church?
My parents, not really. It was mainly my grandma. God, I can't remember that. And then some other people in the family. Some of the older ones, they would like take us to church and stuff like that. So we did we're on welfare. So like if we wanted Christmas, Thanksgiving and all that stuff, we always went to the church to go get food, go get presents and stuff like that and see Santa Claus. It was always at the church. That's where we got stuff from. So.
Damn, Tig.
But, I always believed in God and Jesus, always didn't really understand it. Got baptized as a kid. The second time I did it because of a girl.
Man, whatever it's worth, man, I'm just really proud of you and getting out of that shit. I mean, a lot of people never make it out of that. And
I think I had one, so getting in a lot of trouble. I had to go see counselors and crap. I remember my mom was inside. This is before they had the white noise machine outside the counselor's office. I remember the office building was, it was on Academy. I think I remember exactly which building it was, but it was actually right next to the Marine recruiting station I ended up going to. But I was sitting outside the office, my brother, my sister, we're all always in trouble. So again, it was just that family, just getting in trouble constantly. I won't tell their stories, but I was there and I remember, my mom talking about us, really not in a good way, and then the counselor just said, talking about me, he's like, he's going to end up just like them. He's going to be in jail. He's not going to amount to anything. And that's what I just kind of sat there, heard that, and I got up and I left. I never went back there, but I was like, fuck you. You ain't going to tell me who I am and what I'm going to do. So that was probably part of the motivation. But I still got in trouble, but I also kind of knew that fine line of what you could do and what you shouldn't do. So
how do you think you learned that?
Just from other people around you, what kind of, the crap they got into, what would happen to them. So I just learned, like, you can only push things so far. Like, I never, like, got into, robberies and stuff like that. As just, I don't know, it just popped in my head. So in Iowa, when it was before I got into first grade, we had moved to this new house from the other one that I had the babysitter at. I would sneak out like at midnight before first grade. And I learned how to before first grade, and we lived next to a college, so a bunch of apartments and stuff like that. A lot of people didn't lock their cars back then, so I'd open the car and I'd steal all the change. I did this for a while. And probably, I think it was about the second month, because I wasn't smart enough. I'd probably do it like, almost like every weekend, like every Sunday, I think is what it was, or something like that. I was consistent. Well, these college kids decided to hold a sting on me. I think they caught me like at 3 a.m.
What do you do to a pre-first grader that's taking change out of your car?
Oh my God! So they grabbed me, right? I'm just like, I'm just a little shit. I'm just like, let me go. I'm cussing up a storm and this and that.
What are you, like 6?
Oh yeah, probably 5,
dude.
And they're just like, what the hell? Are you the one in here? Tell us the truth. Are you the one stealing anything? We already called the cops and like, we'll help you out. I'm like, yeah, I've been the one doing it. It's like, why are you doing it? Well, I want to eat. Because again, a lot of times we didn't. Usually we go to the grocery store and steal food from the produce section. We got kicked out of Hy-Vee a lot just because we'd sit there and eat. At least I did. Especially the strawberries were good. But and then they're just looking at me like, are you serious? Like, yeah, usually I just go buy food with it. So the cops got there. They said, oh, no, he wasn't. They told him that I was out wandering around. They didn't tell me they told me don't ever do this again, and I didn't.
Damn, Tig.
But no, the cops got me. They brought me back to the house. And I learned to lie pretty good. And my mom and the stepdad, like, what the hell are you doing? What's going on? I just started wanting to go for a walk. So I got my ass beat, but not as bad. Just a couple spankings, a couple slaps, not the normal beating. So it wasn't too bad. I forgot what I was talking about before that, but no, I don't know, that just kind of made me talk about, oh yeah. So I didn't, wasn't no Grand Theft Auto. I didn't do no armed robberies. Didn't kind of quit stealing after I left Iowa. We used to break into people's houses and garages and steal stuff, but kind of again, went to Colorado, stopped doing that stuff. Mainly for me, it was just a lot of fights. That was really it. It was about the only biggest thing because especially when I started working, I was more about making money than doing anything else. I mean, hell, I was 14. I had a Mustang 2 I bought for $300. The only thing I had to do was put new tires on it and traded that and got a 84 Blazer. I was always, from a kid, I was working. I was always trying to make money, even mowing lawns. I always try to figure out how to make money. Usually that's how you bought your toys, especially G.I. Joes. So I always worked for everything that I had. Nothing was really given, even during Christmas and all that crap.
Damn, man. So you were surviving
Mm-hmm.
from
Day
very
one.
early age. Jeez. All right, let's go back to the Marine Corps.
Yeah, so went to boot camp. Again, it was fun. I enjoyed it. It wasn't to me, it wasn't hard, but we had 84 recruits and only 2 drill instructors. So we got away with everything. I mean, normally it wouldn't be that way. It would normally be like 50. But Bill Clinton had a shutdown during that time, so everybody got backlogged. So, anyways, got in there, wanted to do infantry. It was just a bullet catcher. Picked up rank pretty fast because, again, I just knew what I wanted to do. I enjoyed that stuff.
You excelled at this.
Yeah. Became an infantry squad leader, became sergeant within like 3 years. So I was a squad leader within 2 years. So
What was it like for you? I mean, let me rephrase that. How close were you with your guys in the Marine Corps?
I think for the most part, we were fairly close. I mean, obviously you had to separate the rank for the most part. You kind of did, kind of didn't. Sometimes I think it's more hurtful to a unit than it is helpful, but a lot of guys can't keep that separation of the rank.
Mm-hmm.
You get too buddy, and that's where they want that because they're like, I don't really got to listen to him. He's my best bud, even though he's your squad leader.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the separation. But the most part, I think, we'd always hang out. We'd do things what we could. But my biggest thing, was, again, doing a lot of things I did in school, the wars and all that. Reading what a lot of the problem was the junior guys didn't know what to do if the squad leader got whacked or the platoon sergeant got whacked. So when I went in, my goal was to make sure like my team leaders knew what a platoon sergeant's job was. So they always knew like ranks above them. And I told them, you got to tell your guys what your job is and what my job is, kind of thing. Because again, war happens, people die. If you don't know how to handle things and step up, you might not know everything, but it starts guiding them in the right direction. So I always made sure, that again, they knew other people's jobs, even radios. Even on the Marine Corps, we saw a radio like maybe once in 4 years. Of course, that was back in the 90s. Now I think everyone has a radio. But me being a leader is just making sure that that your juniors are capable of doing your job and somebody else's job above you. That's what a leader does. You don't stand there and just be like, oh, I'm the all powerful. Like, no, they need to be able to step up and take your spot if something happens. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So I enjoyed it. I mean, it was a lot of fun. They kind of made me the remedial guy because I was an asshole. I wasn't nice. But so like all the guys who would fail PT, I was the one they send to in the whole platoon. It was fun.
What did the stability feel like? I mean, coming from an environment like that into...
Oh, the consistency was awesome. I enjoyed it. It was way better. So, I mean, I was in 29 Palms, so that part kind of sucked, but it doesn't bother me too much because I already had a vehicle. If you didn't have a vehicle, it really sucked. So I don't know if you know where 29 Palms is, but it's a miserable base. But training...
I've never been there.
Training is awesome. You can't get any more better training. Everything's live fire.
Nice.
Yeah. So a lot of guys that come from like Pendleton and other locations, they end up whacking other guys because they're not used to adjusting fire. And again, it's all live fire. So, it was cool to be able to call, mortars. I got to call in a Cobra one time. You usually don't get to do that as a squad leader.
Yeah.
But out there, it's different. It was really cool.
Did you deploy with the Marine Corps?
No, I just did deployments. Well, I did, but not to combat. I did Okinawa, Thailand, Tinian, and Guam. That was it. That was just all peacetime stuff.
How long were you in the Marine Corps?
4 years.
4 years?
Yeah, I was gonna re-up, and I was gonna do MSG duty. I didn't want to do boot camp crap. I didn't want to be a drill instructor. Even though it was fun, I didn't want to do it. Mm-hmm. I didn't want to do recruiting duty because I would come home and I would do recruiting duty so you can stay home longer. And so I wanted to do MSG duty. Well, I went to the school, and about a month into it, then you go in because you do all the psych eval stuff, and then they're looking everything over. It's a 3-month school. You go down, I have my interview, and they're bringing up things. again, protecting people for the most part. Well, I put one kid in the hospital for about 3 days. And I think it was my junior year or senior year. But and they asked me, okay, what happened? I told them, well, the guy punched a kid in a wheelchair. And, he was like some like #1 wrestler or something in Colorado at the time. And, nobody wanted to step up to him. But I'm just like, no, nobody's going to hit a kid in a wheelchair. And the kid's name was Richie. He's kind of like he couldn't really move himself either. He kind of could and stuff. So even from junior high, I'd push him around to his classrooms. If I saw him, anybody picked on him, I would thump him. Nobody really picked on him like that, but like this guy did. And so my buddy's like, dude, there's no way this guy punched him. And he's like, he's right over there. So you go ask him if he says something, I'm going to floor him. And I remember my buddy Josh asking him, hey, I heard you punched Richie in the chest. And he started laughing. Hell yeah, I did. And I was blacked out. Yeah. And I guess for what they said, it took 10 teachers to pull me off of him.
Good for you.
So they brought that up, and then they brought up my childhood thing with the guy molesting me. So they actually used that against me to kick me out of the MSG school.
Are you fucking serious?
Mm-hmm. That's when I was like, that's when I said, fuck this, I'm leaving the Corps.
Holy shit. Why the fuck would they use that against you?
I have no idea.
How did they find out about it?
Because it was in the police records. Because it's, even though it's your kid, but they can look all the way back.
Shit, man.
Yep.
So you felt betrayed again.
Mm-hmm.
And you got out.
Yep. And then once she knew that kicked me out. Because what they said you need to go see a shrink and get this dealt with before you can go over there. I'm like, deal with what? It's not my fucking problem. It's not my fault. And I said, fuck this. So then I got shipped back to my unit. My ex found out. She got a hold of me. And then when I was in Okinawa, and then I came back and we got married.
Shit, man. So you left all that stability for what felt like a betrayal again. And then what did you do from there?
Well, I got out. She got stationed in Washington. She was in the Army. She had joined, and so I was stationed in Washington. I tried to do the whole dependent thing. Tried for about 2 months. I had to work. I was like, man, I'm gonna go to Subway. I gotta go do something. And finally, I just went into heating and air conditioning. Actually started off as a gas piper. So just, doing gas lines and stuff like that. And then 9/11 hit. I remember, getting ready to go to work and watching, hearing about the first plane and watching the second plane. I just looked at her and said, we're going to war. This is an attack. And so I told, I called my boss said, hey, I'm not coming in. I'm going to the recruiting station. So went to recruiting. Of course, they were pissed. They're like, oh, this ain't no big deal. I was like, you guys have no idea what's going on, do you? So I went there and, they're talking with them and they just kind of look at me. I already had a 10% disability rating. They're like, we ain't going to need you. We don't need no broke. I get it. They're like, we don't need no broke dick. We're going to have so many people join us. I was like, man, that's fucked up. So like whatever, went back and, she ended up getting orders to go to Kuwait, move back to Colorado. This I didn't really know about contracting yet. So I actually started going to school for heating and air conditioning. The money was good. I mean, I was making between $500 to $1,000 a day. So it really wasn't money. There's a reason why I did the job, but I just hated it. I mean, I just felt like something was missing. I'd just be pissed off every day at work. Like you work at your own pace, so it ain't like I had so many things because you got paid by the job. Whatever you got done is what you got paid for. So when she was over there, she found out about contracting, and that's when she came back in 2003, I think early, but I still had to finish my school. Still wanted to finish it, and then she went And then I stayed. And then once I graduated, I went over in July 2003 to Kuwait for my first contracting. And I was only making $13 an hour.
What was the first contract?
Doing the gate guard stuff for Camp Doha. I got in a lot of trouble there too.
What kind of trouble?
Well, you'd have guys coming back. You'd have dudes coming from Kuwait or from Iraq, from the combat zone. You could see their combat units. They're coming down just for like R&R. Well, if you didn't have some kind of piece of paper from some colonel or something saying, you're allowed to come on the base, they wouldn't let you on. So I'm just like, these dudes are driving, from there to here. I'm like, I get it, and you see your highest ranking individual is here, and I tell them what's going on, and I just let them on. I just say, you're going to have a big issue getting off if you don't get this. They probably won't let you off, but
have a good time, boys.
And I was like, just please do me a favor. Just don't tell them who let you on, because I won't be able to do it for anybody else. Well, they finally figured it out.
Right on, man.
So they put me out. They took me off gate, put me interior stuff, and it was just like whatever. But to me, it was just bullshit. It was like these are coming. You guys are here in Kuwait. You can go out in town at the freaking mall and hang out. These guys are coming from a combat zone. You can't let them come here and hang out, do some R&R for a day. Like screw that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So where do you go from there?
That's when you start looking at the contracts that are going on. Again, you're looking 03 to 04. That's when Blackwater really blew up with the 4 guys who got dragged and hung on the bridge and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So trying to find companies that were reliable, contract companies, because there are so many fly-by-night ones. I mean, ones that would actually, they do drive-bys on military bases. I don't know if you heard about that stuff. Mm-mm. Yeah, some of these contracts, Americans doing, it's like, what are you guys doing? So...
What do you mean drive-bys?
Yeah, like going by a military and shooting at them.
Are you serious? Mm-hmm. When the hell was this happening?
Like the 04, 05. Like really the Wild West stuff.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it was stupid, man. So a lot of it's just like, so you had to be careful. There's one that I know, a couple of the guys that I was doing security with, one of them was named Little. He actually ended up going with Blackwater. But he was going to go in there and do security work. And I was just like, dude, you don't have enough training for that. You're going from an admin guy in the Army to doing PSD work over there and only going to give you a 2-week train up. Now him and his own team, I'm getting whacked like a month in.
Damn.
But it was some of the other ones, again, they're paying you like $90,000, like for a month, 2 months at a time. But some of them, they're not even going there with real guns. They're going with like broomsticks painted as guns and all kinds of, so you got to be very careful.
Yeah, I remember, I fell into one of those, not quite that bad, but I remember my first contract was this one with Armor Group. Did you ever hear of Armor Group? It was out of UK. Yeah. I lasted about 2 weeks there, and I was like, get me the fuck out of here now. And then I wound up getting picked up for the OGA program, but geez, dude. Yeah. So ended up going with Blackwater, put my resume in just before my, because I could have left earlier. A lot of guys, they would break their contract. But again, to me, you sign up for something, you finish it. So I just finished it out, went home, went to the training, and after July, so sometime after July in 04 or something like that, I went to BW, did it. Didn't know who I was going to be working for. Blackwater just picks you up, and then did the training, and next thing you know, I'm overseas doing work. What contract was this? This agency. This was GRS? No, Cobra. Gate Cobra. Guard. So I didn't know about GRS at the time. Because you're supposed to, so I went there, and then they were talking about it, I was like, what the hell is this GRS thing? They're like, oh, they're doing like the mobile stuff. Like, okay. So I get over to Afghanistan, and that's when, you start learning things and, knowing what's going on. And I actually ended up getting airport duty. Can't really say a whole lot what's going on out there, but there's some fun transfers going on. But so we actually it was a benefit to me. So we would actually do some escorts for some of the agency personnel.
as Cobras, even though you're not supposed to, because we're going out the airport, so they would just kind of jump in with us. We do, we still had to do the SDRs there and back and stuff like that. So I got to know the town as a Cobra. Normally, those guys don't see anything but to and from the airport. Well, when somebody says you can't do something, I'm gonna say, well, I'm gonna prove you wrong. So every time I would come, I'd go to the TL for the GRS. And here's my resume. This is my background. It's like, dude, you have to be 8 years SF. Like, I can do better. I can do what you guys can do. So 07, they finally said, all right, go and do it. Because I got tired of it. I mean, I was coming here all the time. I was like I can drive around, right? So, I mean, but I had in the Marine Corps, I went to urban warfare. So I was an urban warfare instructor and stuff like that. That's like my highest speed thing I did. And I was the assault climber. So you'd set up the lanes for the battalions and climb cliffs and stuff like that at night. So I had, some specialized, but, nothing like SF guys. But anyways, so we went to Blackwater. I think at the time it was like a 4-month train up.
Yeah.
For
real quick, I just want to educate the audience. So when we're talking about back in those days, I don't know, it might still be like this. There was the Cobra contract and the Capo contract, under the OGA umbrella, other government agency, which is the CIA contract. And so the Cobra sector is basically static security base. You're assigned to a specific base, and you do all the perimeter and internals for that specific location. And with that being said, before we move on to the Capo program, let's take a quick break. Every day it becomes more obvious. The world is changing fast, and the systems we were taught to rely on can't be counted on anymore. Whether it's institutions, governments, or supply chains, when things go wrong, most people are caught completely off guard. That's why it's up to you to take responsibility for yourself, your safety, and your family's well-being. Preparation starts with the basics. For me, that includes long-term emergency food. That's why I use and trust My Patriot Supply. Because when the unexpected hits, I want to know I've done everything I can to be ready for myself and the people I care about. Go to mypatriotsupply.com/SRS and shop a curated collection of my favorite products, from long-term food storage to water filtration, medical kits, and portable power solutions. With lightning-fast shipping, your supplies can be at your door in as little as 48 hours. Go to mypatriotsupply.com/SRS right now. That's mypatriotsupply.com/SRS. Building.
What do you think, Shawn?
We're high. I know firsthand how tough hiring can be. Finding the right fit takes time. You wait for the right candidates to apply, sort through stacks of resumes, and then try to line up an interview that works with everyone's schedule. It's a constant challenge. Well, the future of hiring looks much brighter because ZipRecruiter's latest tools and features help speed up finding the right people for your roles. So you save valuable time. And now you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/SRS. With ZipRecruiter's new advances, you can easily find and connect with qualified candidates in minutes. Over 320,000 new resumes are added to ZipRecruiter every month, which means you can reach more potential hires and fill roles sooner. Use ZipRecruiter and save time hiring. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And if you go to ZipRecruiter.com/SRS right now, you can try it for free. Again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/SRS. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. All right, Tig, we're back from the break. We're getting ready. You just got picked up for the CAPO program, the mobile program at the agency.
So it wasn't really smooth because this was like '07, and I had LASIK done when I was in 2002. So my eyesight was like really good, like 2015 vision. So we start going through it, start doing all the I can't remember exactly the flow, but I think we did like the house stuff with the qualification at the last week of it, and everything else, like the shooting. So I was doing really good and all that was passing, The hardest one, I don't know if you remember, was the 25-yard shot from concealed, 4 seconds, 2 shots. That was a kind of a pain. I was never really good with pistol, but I was good enough to pass.
Dude, I just want to hear your whole training experience because, and I don't want to diminish anything that you've done or any conventional guys at all, but I mean, I came out of the SEAL teams and I had maybe about a year-ish break where I tried to do some business stuff and failed miserably, and then wound up at that shitty armor group one and then wound up getting picked up. But I thought that training package, I think it was about a month long then.
Yeah,
and,
it was tough.
right around the same time frame because I left in '06, so it was '07, '08 maybe that I got in there.
Yeah.
And that was fucking tough, man.
Dude, those drills,
quals were stiff.
Yeah.
And
The timing, holy crap.
working with new people, working with other branches that did things different. I mean, that was challenging coming from where I came from with all that training. And so for you, I mean, what did you think of that?
I mean, for me, it was, I guess, maybe just being molded by the core. You just kind of adapt and just do it. Is this how they want it done? I just do it that way. What because I think even though like even that night, I think even like Roan and Jack kind of went back to their SEAL stuff for the most, just kind of like because they were moving on the side of me going down. It was a little bit different than we were, but I just started kind of flowing with them. They started flowing with me. And then they kind of broke off and did their thing together, which again, I still think because what Roan was 20 years SEAL. So I think you're still going to go back to some of that stuff. But you still have, I think since the training of it is so long, you all have a base to fall back on. So you kind of have an idea what the guys to the left and right are going to do. So I think that's what helpful. But, me doing like the vehicles and stuff like that, I mean, that was all new. But do you know who Jake Banta is?
Yeah.
So I met him doing Cobra. So I had a little bit of insight on a lot of what GRS was doing, the training wise. So he kind of told me, okay, if you're going to go do this, here, take this, go practice this stuff. So I had 40 acres. I had my own gun range. So I did a lot of practicing back, you got paid pretty good, but ammo was a lot cheaper then too. So I had a bunch of ammo. I was just training every day, getting my speed up, getting all that, doing my pistols. So when I went there, I already had an idea. I pretty much knew what they were going to do, except for vehicles. CQB, I wasn't worried about because, that was a month-long train up I did just in the Marine Corps for CQB. So that for me, that was easy. I just couldn't shoot everybody like I did in the Marine Corps. So, then the hooded box drill, that was freaking epic.
Yeah.
That was fun. I did enjoy that part.
Yeah, I thought that was a really good exercise.
That was.
What did you find to be the most challenging?
I think dealing with the staffers.
Other than that, I mean the training.
Just trying to remember all the stuff so fast, and just the wording on the vehicles, content, just getting that, knowing what to do, how to protect the package and stuff like that. That was kind of the hardest stuff because a lot of that stuff kept changing from class to class for the most part. Tie them to you, don't tie to them, keep moving. And then the Dieter thing was kind of a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
Yeah.
So we get to the final, and my eyes started going bad. Like I woke up and I couldn't see that glass your water bottle right there.
Oh,
I was
shit.
like, holy crap. So I went into the eye doctor. I paid like $500 to get a prescription right away so I could see. So I went through it, got it going, Next morning, changed. So every day I had to keep going back to the eye doctor to pass. And then finally my eyes, I don't know, about a month later, finally settled down. And so I kind of fought with that all the way up through, even through Benghazi, my eyeballs. But I could always make sure I could see and stuff like that. So I ended up getting like hard, soft contact lenses. And that really, so I work with contacts over there quite a bit. But it was that, dude, that week, I don't know what was going on, but come to find out, I think it was 2017, about 3 months before I had to have transplants in my eyes, I had cornicosis.
What is that?
Deterioration of your cornea. So I had to get for Intacs, and there was something else. I forgot exactly what it was, but so they take these two plastic things and they reshape your eye. So both my eyes got these plastic things in them. And then they put, I forgot, anyway, they put some other drop in there, hardens up your lens and stuff like that. Again, my eyes just kept fluctuating. And finally, my right eye really started getting bad again. And they went in, my right eye's an artificial lens.
Damn.
So the fact that I could even still see, even the eye doctor, they put, I guess they're doing they did a whole study on me in the eye doctor school now.
In the eye doctor school.
Whatever they want to call it. I had
School of Optometry.
yeah, that one. I had 7 different surgeries on them. So.
How many people made it through your vetting? Do you remember? Or was it TDC?
It was TDC. I think only one person didn't pass.
No shit.
Yeah.
Damn, when I went through, there was only about three or four of us that made it through.
Yeah.
And everybody else failed.
It wasn't very bad. I think it was only 5 of us anyways.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
But so I almost failed because they gave me a mask where I couldn't wear my glasses. So when I was going in, they had the package dressed almost exactly like the aggressor. So I went in the room. I was a 50-50 shot, and I ended up shooting the package. And but I remember, luckily the other guys backed me up, and they said he kept asking you guys for a mask for his glasses. So they didn't send me home. I had to go back through it one more time. So I got one more chance to go through it, and they said, you better make it 100% clean. I was like, fuck, man. Talking about tense, dude.
Yeah.
Now the eyes are just on me.
Yeah.
So, but I ended up making it through clean, and it was they ran me through the ringer on those, man, because again, they're like, you can't shoot the package.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no second chance. You're done.
Yeah. I think you're the only person I heard that got a second chance at that.
Who was it? I think it was Dusty was doing the train up. I think that's
I remember him.
So, yeah, he was running me. What the? I was like, dude, what? And all the other guys stepped up, say, hey, he asked you for it because it wouldn't fit.
Damn. Well, what'd you think of the job when you got over there?
Pretty boring.
Where did you go?
Actually, so my first 2 trips were actually in Iraq.
Okay.
The first one was the VVIP, and then I was at the Villa. The Villa was just dumb. I think I might have did 3 trips. 2 trips were at the Villa. It was just dumb. I didn't do anything. It was just going to the gym. I mean, I did a midnight shift just in case the chief of station woke up in the middle of the night and somebody had to take him. But they wouldn't call me anyways. They'd use the other guys. So I was just like, whatever. So, but it was, we had a couple rocket attacks. I remember it was July, and it's only I don't think any of the GRS guys knew I was even there as GRS, honestly, because I would just go hang out with the Cobra guys because they're the cool guy crew. I was just anyways. So I remember being in the gym and we're getting hit, and you go into the bunker, and I heard this one and just come in. You knew it hit. So I come out of the bunker, and the staff's like, get it back in here. I was like, whatever. So I go out, and you can see went down, ended up hitting one of the trailers, and it's still smoky, still all that crap. So I start yelling, anybody in there, I start going in, and end up being, I forgot what company he worked for now, but he ended up having piece of shrapnel just sticking out of his chest. So I kind of grabbed him. He was stumbling. He was trying to find his way out, but I mean, it jacked up the whole front. There was no stairs, no nothing, no more. So I pulled him out, got him out, and I set him down. I was like, hey, is there anyone else in there? So just kind of sit down, relax. I didn't want to lay him down, so I sat him. I said, don't move, stay here. Is anyone else in there? He's just kind of like, his bell was wrong. Because they're, you got 2 pods attached. So I go back in there and I start yelling, hey, anybody in here? Go back to the other one, anyone in here? Nobody was in there. So I go back out, dude's gone. And I'm thinking, oh shit. So I'm like, now I'm looking for this guy. He's got this piece of shrapnel sticking out, and then go around the corner, and actually a couple of the GRS guys are headed that way and got a hold of him and set him down. So I'm just kind of standing there, kind of watching. You just kind of like, kind of listen to everything going on. I already knew the trailer was kind of clear. That's the only one that got hit. And I don't want to say his name, but I remember him looking up, man. He said, you hate GRS, you get the hell out of here. I'm like, okay. I went back to the gym, started working out again. So it was funny that I went to go back to do the requal, and he was there. He's like, were you GRS? Because he remembered me because there was just some dude just standing there. He's like, were you GRS? I was like, why didn't you say something? I didn't need to. He already had him. The medical kit. What else am I gonna do?
Jeez.
So, and then at the again, didn't do anything there. Then over at the VVIP, really didn't do anything there either.
What's the VVIP?
It was just like just part of the airport where they would fly in and fly out and stuff.
Oh, okay.
But we would just run people to the airport. I mean, we do some what they call black ops. First time I learned about what actual black ops are. I was like, oh, okay. Anyways, that's the only thing we did out of there. And, but they called it the White House. It was where they did a lot of the, you can't really say what they did in there, but a lot of explosives were in there. Well, one of the guys was in there welding, and a spark hit one of the RPG blankets and just, so we went over there. We had to get that guy out, and really that was about the biggest thing. But I was over at he got jacked up. He was not the front of him, but the whole back side of him just got cooked.
Damn.
Yeah, so he was pretty jacked up. Got him out of there. But what was that one GB base, Eagle base?
Mm-hmm.
So I was there doing. I think I get in Iraq. I get all the shit details. I mean, I was the only non-SF guy there. So like, you know, this and TIG, whatever. So I got to work out, with those guys quite a bit, and that's when I can't remember his name, but what they call him, the Wolf of Baghdad, that one tank commander, Marine.
I don't know.
I have to look him, but so I was there on watch that night when because it was kind of cool because they had to be on the radio. I kind of help because sometimes their comms wouldn't be all that great, so we kind of transmit if they couldn't hear. Well, I was there that night when he was in the lead and him getting whacked, one of the GB guys, and so that was he was a pretty well known Marine at the time, and that was like when they were like saying, oh, he was a Marine, but I knew where he was working at. But when I saw it in the paper, it didn't say anything about what he was. I was like, oh, okay, this is how they're doing this stuff.
Gotcha.
So it was kind of a weird.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay. So that's when my wife at the time didn't know who I was working for.
You didn't tell your wife?
Mm-mm. But after I saw that, I said, I'm going to tell her. Just because.
What'd she say?
He's like, oh, okay. No big deal. Then I told
him, for the CIA? All right, whatever. I want to go play tennis.
Yeah. So, but no, that was, yeah. So that was an experience. But again, those 2 trips, I was just like, this is so stupid. Then I got sent to Afghanistan for the first time as GRS. And again, I'd been in Afghanistan for a couple years now, So I knew the area. So when you get there, the newer guys usually they have to go out. They're driving around, knowing the town. My hardest thing was like knowing the street names, the circles, and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. But I got it fairly quick. And I remember, I don't really say who it was again. I don't like putting names out there, but you're not supposed to you play a lot of Call of Duty. You play a lot of Call of Duty as GRS. So I was and I'm sitting there playing. And he comes in. He's like, "What the fuck, Tig? What are you doing? What, you think you know the roads now?" I'm like, "Yeah." I only been like a week and a half. It's like, "That's it. You're doing your test now. If you fail, you're out." Okay. Well, and then he tried to get me. He tried to stump me as best he could. He goes, because he didn't realize. I think he had just kind of shown up, but that was when I was over in. Actually, I started going to Herat. I did a lot in Herat. So I don't think
I got a feeling I know who that was.
Yeah, heavy cop. Yeah,
He was second on my list.
Yeah. So anyway, so he's like, "How the hell do you know the city so well?" I was like, "I've been doing this since '04 out here." Oh. Like, I knew the damn city pretty. I just didn't really know the names and the circles. I just knew how to get around. So the hardest part for me was just knowing the names and the circles.
So how long were you? You went direct, right? You.
So I didn't go direct until actually it was like mid 2011. So I was over in Pakistan when the consulate got attacked there. And I guess from that one, a couple other guys that were like high in the food chain for GRS that were direct or whatever saw my actions there that day, and that's when they said they want me to go and do direct.
What happened that day?
The consulate got attacked. Nothing really major happened. It was a dude came in with the car bomb initially, blew up. Then there's a second one that came in. There was, I think 6 attackers came out, and they were just kind of shooting in the air. So we're inside the consulate and trying to figure out, okay, we're trying to get a hold of the State Department guys. Hey, what's going on? What do you see on your cameras? They told us post 1 had been already breached. And we're like, that's serious, because they're already inside the compound. So me and the other guy, our gear was technically in our vehicle. That's where we just left it. After that day, we never left our stuff in the vehicles no more. So we end up rounding up our own, some other body armor, another weapon system. Then we go out. They haven't even breached the freaking outer perimeter yet. So we come out the door like we're ready to shoot. They're like, well, they're talking about bad intel. Holy crap, guys. So he goes to the front. I go to the back. They're just kind of shooting up. We're being told that the attackers, they're in police and military attire. So I got the back corner of the consulate, and it's pretty close to some other buildings. And I'm seeing dudes running around in cops in military uniform left and right. I'm like going, these are the bad guys or not? I mean, they're not looking up. I mean, they got their guns, but they're moving people. So we're just kind of standing there, and there's a big ass tree, so we couldn't engage. There's a couple DS agents that was up there. I think there was 2 DS agents up there with me and the other guy, and then a couple more on one of the other buildings. I think there's only like 3 buildings at the consulate, maybe 2. But then probably about 5 minutes into this thing, just they lit off like 1,500 pounds of TNT. Collapsed the building, dude. It was pretty crazy. And then they asked me if I got knocked out or not. I remember getting up off the ground, but I don't remember if I was knocked out or not. I just remember a guy got smacked by one of the big AC panels. And that was, other than that, that's really all that happened. Me body parts from these guys are flying all over the place. The funniest one, actually, is 2. Well, maybe not funny, but it is funny. One of the dudes got, the fences had the gaps in them. One of the dude's body was just like impaled. The other guy had his upper torso, finger in his nose. And it was just kind of funny. Yeah, that's how they always are, is finger in the nose.
Oh, jeez.
But I mean, that was really it that happened. But after that, I guess then again, you don't hesitate. I guess they're like, oh, you're all right, you can go to direct. And that's kind of when I went to direct.
Where did you go did you go right to Libya?
No, I pretty much went back to PAC. Went there a couple more times, and then it was over to Libya. So from there, We flew into Benghazi that evening. And actually, we started driving with the chief of station from Benghazi when we landed up to Tripoli. So we stopped in Mastrata, stayed the night. Again, I've never really knew anything about Tripoli except for freaking the Marine Corps song. So we're just kind of driving, taking turns, through that hotel. I don't think anybody slept. It's just a hotel. It ain't like it's a safe location.
Yeah.
You're just trusting the locals, man. So, we had did the fire watch thing. And, get up to Tripoli. I think we stayed in like another hotel. Then we opened up a compound.
So you opened it.
Yeah. I
didn't realize that.
Yeah. So the agency was there first. We went to the old embassy, went around there. I picked up a couple of the security procedure books that they left behind. Says classified on it. Whatever. I picked them up, made sure I brought them back. I don't know how. Yeah, I mean everything was still in them. Like, I guess they couldn't read English, so I brought those back to our compound. But now then. Stayed there. They found then helped open up the embassy. Then I left, and then I went back. When I came back, that's when I went back down to Benghazi, which is good because I don't like the flagpole. So at the time, it wasn't the flagpole because there was only 4 of us that did all the GRS guys that went up there. Then as I was leaving, 2 more guys came in because they were getting ready to open up I actually got to walk through the permanent CIA Annex. And again, I think it was like 8 houses, all had pools. I mean, it was nice. Mm-hmm. So that's the one that they aired on TV saying it was the embassy that they broke into. They're jumping off the balcony into the pool. That was the agency's compound.
Interesting. I never went over there.
Yeah, it was nice.
I heard it was.
But yeah, then I went down there and did a lot of stuff down there. They went down and we did one of the yellow cake sites, I guess, for Gaddafi, where you had a bunch of the nuclear crap down there. And other than that, we did some runs to, I would think I'm going to say Dern, well, I don't remember, but the city close to Egypt. I can't remember the name of it now. But other than that, I mean, it was pretty relaxed. I mean, even in Tripoli, didn't really get too many stink eyes like you did in other places, but Benghazi was different, man. They'd come and shake your hand. Like, thanks for your help. Thanks for getting him out. If you're in a coffee shop or getting food, somebody would probably try to buy it for you.
No kidding.
It was weird. They were very grateful. So definitely a different environment than anywhere else I've been.
How long were you there before that happened?
So the first 2 trips, the first trip was 3 months, and then the second one was 2 months. Then my twins were born premature, so that kind of pulled me out early. So if it wasn't for that, I probably wouldn't have been in Benghazi when 9/11 happened. So I was on my 4th trip down there when 9/11 hit. And that last time, I mean, it was fairly quiet for the most part. I think Iran had just kidnapped a few people at that time. But some politicians, they're trying to kill him. This is their first election in like 30 years. The police chiefs, I think a couple police chiefs got whacked when I was there. Other than that, I mean, threat towards us really wasn't there. But Bob, it was just, I don't know. It's hard to explain it's just hard to explain Bob. Just very risk adverse. I don't think he understood our capabilities.
Can you tell the audience who Bob was?
So Bob was the chief of base in Benghazi.
The head guy.
Yep, the head guy. So, in Benghazi, then you have the chief of station, which oversees the whole country. But yeah, he was the head guy in Benghazi at the time. And, when I talked about earlier about even before the consulate, you remember when the British ambassador got attacked?
No.
So he got attacked in between one of my trips. And again, Bob was there, but a different team leader. And Bob told him, no, you can't go. And the team leader at that time told him to pound sand, and they left. And there's the only reason why one of the security guys even survived, because they were able to render him medical aid.
Right on.
So, and there was a time when we had the deputy chief and a linguist. They were probably almost about an hour away from us, and they got hemmed up at a checkpoint. And we're like, we need to get over there. We get in the area. I mean, we don't go in there guns blazing. It's just, you don't do that. It's just in case something goes south after at the checkpoint, we can help intervene. He wouldn't even let us leave the compound to go help, to get in the area. That's just the type of person he was.
Man.
So again, for like the stand down order, it was just him. And well, there's more to it now that I know of, thanks to Sarah. So.
Did you know Sarah when you were over there?
Oh yeah. Worked with her in a few other places. She likes getting people whacked.
Yeah,
she's really good at it.
She still likes getting people whacked.
Oh. I did. I see people trying to go after her on like, especially on X and stuff. Oh, you're fake. You're fake. Dude, she's far from that, man. I worked with her in a lot of different places. We got some people whacked. So
We just brought her on the team.
yeah.
Did she tell you that?
Uh-uh.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. We've gotten pretty tight ever since that first interview.
She's freaking. She knows what she's talking about.
Yeah, she does, man. She does.
So that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm really excited about it. But so you've worked with her several times in different locations. Where else did you work with her at?
Mainly in Pesh. I think that was my funnest place.
Why do you say that?
Oh man, because we got some HVTs whacked in that place.
Nice.
And it was cool. So a lot of the places you go, like they don't tell you about like what you're doing, why you're doing it for the most part. They're like, oh yeah, we're going after this guy. This is how we're going to do it. This is what, I need you to take this, do this. And so he got more involved in actually getting these dudes whacked. It was awesome.
Nice.
So I think it was just like you're always working. I mean, it was always work.
You liked working.
Oh yeah, it was great.
You didn't like the flagpole booze cruises.
No, time just goes by too slow.
Yeah, I didn't like that either. I like to work.
Yeah. So that's what you're over there for, man. Over there to work, get things done. I remember we almost got killed at a restaurant, but an asset called about a half hour before the meet and said it's an ambush. They're going to kill you when you're there. So we pulled. We still went and did counter surveillance, and sure as shit, they pulled in there and went in, but they didn't. Their lead guy, you see, they're stupid because they all got out of like the Haji van. And they're like standing there, and the one guy walked in, then walked out, and you can tell he's like throwing his hands up, and they got back in and they left. There were 6 of them, all AKs, Haji'd out. Yep.
Well, let's get into the night of the September 11th. You ready?
What day's that? Yeah. What do you want to know? The short version or the long version, or just the
long version?
So, well, Sarah was there, and actually I was doing this one, kind of like gathering stuff. She showed me how to use this one of the equipments, and I ended up actually having that there when I took the deputy, the chief of base, deputy chief of base, and another case officer that morning over to a meeting with the local intel service, which is the first time they ever met them. And it's the first time they ever been to this location, which actually happened to be right across the street from the consulate on the 2nd floor. And so I had this thing, it was running, collecting all the data. People were on their phone and stuff. And, and I took it in the office with me because I went upstairs and just because I just want to see what they could see. And I'm just remember red flags going off. Like they have this thing right across the street. They can see inside the compound. You can see everything. I was like, this is just weird. And, I sat there for a little bit, then I went outside. Because the vehicle's just out in the parking lot, unsecured for the most part. So I didn't want to leave it alone. I was the only one. So I went back out there, kind of hung out in the vehicle, just watching the door and watching, whatever you could. Well, they come out and they're talking and we're like, hey, you need to take us over to the consulate. It's like, I'm like, okay, no problem. And as we're going, I come to find out that they got an intel that there was going to be an attack on a government facility that day. So when the ambassador was there, he just got in there the night before. So it was kind of like to inform him. This is early morning still. I think it was even before breakfast. It was pretty early. Go over there, let him know, just in case he was going to plan on doing any more ops off base, because I think Roan and Jack had a movement with him that day because we were augmenting our security. We shut everything down so we could help them on their moves. So I think that kind of shut one of his moves off that was supposed to be off base. So I kind of come back and, I take that thing that I had and I was like, that's probably pretty good. And I downloaded it all into a USB drive and I put it in my locker waiting for Sarah to come back because it was, that's the targeting package kind of a thing. So anyways, not thinking anything of it. Rest of the day goes by normal. I think Oz was the only one who had a movement that day besides me with the female case officer, and it was like some kind of meeting she couldn't cancel. And the next morning, me and Roan were supposed to be part of the detail that took the ambassador to the Persian Oil Golf Company. And when Roan was talking with them, and they're like, well, we're just going to let the local driver drive us, do the route. We're like, oh, no, we're not. So I was like, I think I know exactly what they're talking about, because again, I've been there longer. I've drone, and actually I think I did a meet there once. But anyway, so I went there. We found exactly where it was at. We did a couple routes, kind of checking like checkpoints or block roads, because they were still kind of doing it. Each neighborhood had its own little clique. So we're trying to make sure which neighborhood we could flow through nice. We figured it out on our way back. Roan calls the DS agent. Says, hey, we got the route. Do you want us to stop by now and we can go over it, or do you want to wait till the morning? Because the driver is not going to dictate how we're going to go. I mean, that you got an HVT with you and you're going to let a local, like, oh hell no. So they said, nah, we'll just wait till tomorrow. And we were driving by the consulate, and it's nice and quiet, and nobody's out in the road. There was no big protest, and you're looking between 8:39 or something like that. We go back. We get to the team room. Team leader Hush is in there and kind of let him know what's going to happen, because we were probably going to leave early, so we can go and explain to them our route and time it and all that stuff, so that they know where we're going in case something happens. I go to bed. They're still up there jibber jabbering. Jack, he's on the computer Skyping with his wife, and he just found out that his wife was pregnant, I think with their third kid. And I'm just kind of getting undressed, and next thing you know, here, hey, all GRS to the team room. Just that calm. This is from Hush is on the radio. And it's kind of like, okay, so I just kind of get out of bed, and go to put my flip flops on. And I need all GRS to the team room now. And so I start moving a little bit quicker. Say, hey, Jack, I'll go figure out what's going on. Go out there. And so I'm in building 4, and then you have building 3, which is the command post. And you have building 1 or building 2, which is Tonto and OD's house. And then building 1, which is actually where Oz was staying, which was the chow hall. That was in the very front of the compound, or the front gate, I guess you could say. You can hear gunfire going off, stuff like that. You can hear a couple explosions, but it's Benghazi. There's a wedding hall. Try to tell people the wedding hall right there. You'd hear people they would shoot stuff off. Then he comes up to me and says, hey, we need to get ready to roll. The consulate's been overrun. A lot of people they don't understand, they think it's being attacked. No, he's saying it's been overrun. So that means they're already in the compound by the time we get the call. Inside the gates. So that's how fast it happened. So I run back, tell Jack, we get our stuff on, we come out. Tonto and OD, they were the QRF, so they're dressed, ready to go. And I think Roan grabbed one of the vehicles and Tonto grabbed the other one. So they were already staged by the time me and Jack finally came out. And that's when I overheard, how many attackers are there? They're saying anywhere between 50 to 150. So they're all over the place. And I'm thinking, we got M4. So I ran into the team room. I grabbed the grenade launcher and the belt-fed machine gun, brought them out, started doing function checks on that, waiting in the vehicle. I'm in the back seat. Rowan's the driver. Jack is the passenger. Just kind of checking the trigger. Okay, making sure I know which way's safe, which way's not safe. Then checking the grenade launcher, checking the trigger. And we're just kind of still sitting there, and it's like going, these guys, they're digging in, they're gonna get the initiative. We're gonna lose it. So I get out of the vehicle, and I remember it's Bob, Hush, and the deputy chief of base. They're all on the front porch, and I was out on the passenger side. And I said, hey, we got to get over there. We got to get over there now. We're losing the initiative. It's going to take us a lot harder to get onto this compound and rescue these guys. And Bob goes, no, stand down. You need to wait. I'm like, what the fuck are we waiting for? There's nothing to wait for. We need to get over there. And he's like, we need to come up with a plan. We can't come with the plan fucking sitting here. We got to come with the plan with our eyes on the target. There's nothing we can do from here. We know the layout of the compound. And that's when Hush goes, Tig, shut up, get back in the car. So fine, I get back in, and it's armored, so they couldn't hear what's going on. So I had closed the door and I got out. I said, hey, Bob just told us to stand down. And you could just tell right then. They're like, he's not going to let you go. That's what it meant. Well, what Sarah and what OD had been doing throughout the years is actually digging into actually what happened, more than the investigation. Well, weeks prior to the attack, 17 Feb had told Bob, the commander had told Bob that if something ever happened, they were never going to show up. That night, Bob actually got a hold of him before he told me to stand down, that they weren't going to show up. That's why we were told to stand down. And then, for them to sit there and say, oh, there's no evidence of a stand down order. What the hell is that? But again, how can you rely on, it's a hostage rescue is what it is. Mm-hmm. You're going to send 17 Feb in there, which is worse than sending the Boy Scouts in to do a hostage rescue. Some of these guys watching the State Department train don't even know how to reload a freaking rifle. So it's like we are the only, and like in the movie, we are the only help that they had. We're the only support that could have made a difference. And that stand down order is the 100% guarantee is why Ambassador Stevens and Shawn Smith didn't make it. They're dead because of that stand down order.
Damn, man.
Well, people say, well, how do you know that for a fact? Well, they'd have been engaging with us instead of setting the buildings on fire. They died of smoke inhalation. They didn't die from, blunt force trauma, a gunshot. They died from the smoke from the fire. So we end up, it came down to, I think it was Alec get on the radio, the State Department guy said, if you guys don't get here now, we're all going to fucking die. And that was it. Rowan just put it in drive. We started driving. Hush gets on the radio. Wait, I'm coming. We were leaving his ass. We were done waiting. We were done asking for permission.
And Hush is the
team
leader
leader
for the audience. Hush is the team leader for the GRS unit in Benghazi.
And his name's not classified because it's in the congressional. So
it's a call sign anyways.
Yeah. So we leave, we get over there. I immediately engage with the grenade launcher, fired 3 rounds, which that disperses the attackers, which has allowed us to move on to the compound.
Who did you fire them at?
The attackers. So they're way out of range from the grenade launcher, but it's still, I think they may have thought it was mortars coming in. They don't, from what I heard, they had no idea what it was because they've never been shot at like that with something like that before. It was just a 40 Mikes. So they dispersed. I went back to the vehicle, put the grenade launcher in because I had no sling for it. Normally I had it attached. Just those things, you do your own debrief for yourself, right? I should attach it right back to the gun. So as what happened, normally it was attached to one of the rifles, but we had a temporary team leader that came in and took it off the rifle because he's like, well, nobody else can use it. Just grab the damn gun that's had it. It doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. Anyways, so I put it in there. Otherwise I would have had it with me too the whole night. But grabbed the belt fed, and then Roan and Jack just followed me. We went down the road. Paused just outside because again we haven't really heard from State Department yet. I just kind of got on because now we're on the same channel as them. I got on the radio just to let them know, hey, we are coming on. Kind of like, hey, don't shoot us. So when I said that, Roan got up and just started taking off. Jack got up and moved in. As I was starting to follow behind them, because the agency, we have all the high tech gear, right? We got the throat things, the brain things that feed the radio, right? No, we had the old school clip-ons, worse than freaking law enforcement. So I'm trying to clip this radio back on my gear because we're all high speed. So they're running in front of me. Next thing you know, I start getting shot at. So I drop down. The militiamen that were with us, well, actually at that corner when we showed up, they actually followed us down. I didn't realize that at first. They opened up on fire on whoever's firing at me because I was just kind of looking down, so I didn't know where the gunfire came from. So I dropped. And, while they were firing, I was able to move up to a Jersey barrier and get the machine gun up. And I was getting ready to start to put my nods back. I was ready to put my nods down when some local just walks out of the darkness, hands up, 17 Feb, don't shoot, don't shoot. It's just like, where the fuck this guy just come from? You know, again, I don't know, no uniform, no nothing. So he could have been the one shooting. I have no idea. So I look at the guy next to me, you know, little Haji guy, you know, just he looks at me and he just kind of shrugs. I'm like, okay, whatever. I don't durka. So I just kind of got up, moved into the compound. And first thing you see is the main village is engulfed in flames, black smoke coming out. The building off to the right, which ended up being the 17th Feb Martyrs Brigade, that was the QRF that the State Department was relying on in case something happened. So they had 4 guys that stayed there. But from what I heard, those 4 guys actually did shoot back a little bit before they took off. So from what I heard, they actually did try to fight. Don't know for sure. But anyways, that building was completely engulfed. And I just kept, going as I'm going forward. There's a guy walking from that building. And I don't know, who's all in the State Department compound. No weapon, no nothing. Just walking, flip-flops, white shirt, just nonchalant. I'm just like, this is so freaking, had this out here just happened. Oh, before we got down there all the way, we had a local who came out of his house and had his cell phone in his hand and was yelling at us in durka. We're just looking at, we're like telling him, get back. And finally we just had to keep going. Again, so that guy shooting at us, this guy here, I'm like, what the hell? It's just some weird stuff. So you can't just shoot anybody,
Yeah.
We're not cops. We just don't shoot anybody. So. Just kidding. So I go up and I hear banging going on instead of, I don't know where anybody's really at. So now I'm out here by myself. Some local dude behind me, I'm watching him, just making sure he doesn't pull anything. He never did. And there, they had like a horseshoe fighting position. So I go up there and I'm just kind of sitting there, kind of just assessing, listening to sounds, watching this big orchard area that's all pitch black. I go to put my NVGs on. I couldn't because some of the spotlights were kind of like shining up high. So it just floods them out. So you can't, the night vision goggles are pretty much worthless. Mm-hmm. Maybe if I had your super secret, 10 goggle ones, it would have been better, but.
Doubt it.
But so I'm sitting there, getting no communication on the radio. Next thing I know, I hear a vehicle starting up. I'm thinking like, what the fuck? Oh, somebody's stealing they're all up armored. They don't have any like we did, up unarmored. So I'm thinking, oh yeah. I got a belt-fed machine gun, got an up-armored, I'm going to shoot the shit out of this car, right? So I can see it. It's coming down the road. The lights are off. There's no lights on it. So I'm thinking, oh, yeah, they're trying to be sneaky or something. So I come out from the side of the sandbag, and I kind of got it up. Vehicle comes, it turns. Dude, I got the slack coming out of this freaking the saw. And I'm like, oh, it's going to be awesome. And next thing you know, I see dude lean forward. It ended up being Dave Ubben, State Department guy. I was like, oh, you got to be kidding me. I mean, how many people get to blast a government vehicle and not get in trouble? Dude, I was like, yeah. So, yeah. So that didn't happen. And then they backed up. I moved up, kind of followed because I didn't know what the hell was going on. I mean, no comms whatsoever going on. And that's when I ended up linking up with the Roan. He was standing up on the front porch, and I kind of talking with him, and he's like, "Yeah, they don't know where the ambassador is." And I kind of look over off to my right, and they have one guy laying there, and then Jack's kind of over the top, kneeling down over him, looked like he's trying to provide first aid. And I go, "You know who that is? Is it one of ours?" He says, "I have no idea." And I was like, "Well, hopefully it's one of theirs." And then kind of goes like, "Well, I guess we got to clear this area now." And that was like the main villa area. And it was huge inside. So we kind of move in, pitch dark, hotter than hell. I mean, it was so freaking hot. It's kind of like being like just like a major bonfire, but being right next to it the whole time. That's what I mean. It was just intense heat. Moved, couldn't see anything. Flashlight made it even worse. So you're just kind of going by feel. I go in. I think 3 times I went in and out. I don't know if Roan ever came back out that many times, but last time I went in, I was thinking, okay, I'm just gonna, because I had kind of the layout because I'd been there a few times already. So I just went to where I knew where the safe room door was. It was kind of like the outer door was open, but the bars were closed, and I yelled for Chris I think twice as loud as I could. And actually somebody named Chris outside, I could hear where it's coming from. He's like, "Oh, I'm out here." Like, that's not, Stevens. So I start moving back out. I get out, and, just that shouting, taking those breaths and shouting, I took in so much freaking smoke. So I'm hacking. Then I hear Roan, he's inside saying, "I'm lost. I can't find my way out. I'm lost." So I go back in, and we just did a little Marco Polo thing and got him. Then we kind of just moved out. And they're still going in and out of the safe, because when we come out, the safe room's like right here. And they're still kind of going in and out of that room. And that's when Tonto gets on the radio and says, "Hey, we're getting ready to jump the back gate." So myself and Roan, we moved from there over to the road that separated the 2 compounds, and started, putting security up there. I remember Roan coming up, said, "Hey, thanks, I hope, thanks for saving my life." And I'm like, "Well, I hope we can all make this out alive." It was kind of like something like that. Because initially I didn't tell anybody about the Roan incident, because to me that was just, who would believe it anyways? Well, I guess Roan ended up telling Oz about it, because when I told the story to the author, he's like, "Well, what about this?" It's like, "How the hell do you know about that?" So, but to me, it's like putting stuff in that to where it's only my word versus a guy who's not even here. So I was just kind of like, well, I'm not putting that in there.
Yeah.
But anyways, so they end up jumping over. But unfortunately, when, nothing really major happened, but from it. But the locals that went with Tonto and them didn't want to jump the back gate. So they had Tonto open up the back gate. Tonto said, "Hey, when you come in, close the back gate." Well, they didn't. So we went over there, cleared the other side, came back. I started searching in the safe room didn't really know the layout of the safe room whatsoever. I kind of went in there a couple times trying to get the blast shield things open so we can open up more windows to flood the smoke out so we can search easier. Because honestly, I didn't even think we'd get a follow-on attack. I figured that'd have been kind of it. Like, again, thinking 17 Feb's going to show up, the police are going to show up, they're going to lock this place down, right? You just had an embassy, regardless if it was U.S. or not, but an embassy, a foreign embassy in your country just got attacked. In my mind, you're going to shut this city down, right? So I wasn't thinking too much about a follow-on attack. So went in a couple times, kind of came back out. Hush at the time. I think it was like the 3rd time I came back out. Well, the first time I went in, I smashed my night vision goggles, because again, they're up here, not thinking about it, just trying to go into this window, freaking shattered them. So lost those, jacked my neck up, but came back out, and he's kind of, he got all the State Department guys, and they're gathering up, trying to figure out what they're going to do. He's getting them in the vehicle. He's kind of like, I get on the radio and say, "Hey, I'm going to go in one more time." And he says, "No, I'll just stand by, I think because we're probably going to evacuate or something." I just said, "Fuck this." I took my helmet off, took my body armor off, grabbed my flashlight, put my weapon down. Finally learned what I was taught in elementary school: get on your freaking belly. Get on your belly if there's a fire. It works. I mean, I could see, it was only like this much, but I could see pretty far. I could see the other doors. I crawled, went into, out of that room, went into the bathroom, looked around the shower, the tub, looked into the other room, looked under the bed, felt on top of the bed. There was a couple of cabinets open just in case they went into it, the closet. And then as I was coming out, an RPG smacked the wall of the room I was in. That was loud. And that's that started the second attack on the consulate. And it was pretty much just kind of kitty corner. It was just like the door was here. The other safe room door where I was at was like over here. So I just, kind of got up and just ran that way, jumped out, put my gear back on. Then I peeked around the corner to see where the fight was coming from, and it was coming towards the back gate. There's a ladder that went up to the roof, got up on the roof, and let everybody know, hey, I'm on the roof, just in case something happened, I got shot. They don't have to go searching for me. So I start moving to where the fire was coming from. They all have like the 3-foot walls around the top, so it's pretty easy to move up. As I came up, the guy who was shooting the RPG came back into the front of the gate and getting ready to launch. I just did about a 10, 15 round volley of fire. He drops and all the fire stopped. Oz and who else got to see it? Oz and actually Hush said that I guess that volley of fire that I did nailed the RPG and actually did a whole Rambo thing and went off in a 90-degree angle. So that's how good a shot I am. I can hit an RPG flying through the air. So that stops. Everybody kind of starts coming up on the roof because we're still trying to figure out what we're going to do. The State Department guys, one thing that kind of irritated me was while the attack started, Tonto went and got behind their vehicle for protection. It's an up-armored vehicle. Well, they actually honked the horn so they can get him off the vehicle so they could take off. So again, this is their compound. They didn't even think of jumping out and helping us defend their compound. They took off.
Jeez.
So they leave. They end up going the wrong way. They got ambushed. I mean, they made it to our compound, but they got followed all the way to our compound. We're still there. Nobody still no. They didn't know if the ambassador was kidnapped. He took off on foot. No idea if he was still in the building. So again, we had no idea. So we're just trying to figure out what we're going to do. Then they got word from the drone that came overhead that there's about 100 to 150 people moving towards us. So again, we had like 6 of us and a linguist that looked like a turtle because of the his body armor and the helmet were just way too big for him. And then 2-3 dozen unknown people with us. Some in uniform, some not, some in shorts, some with guns, some with no guns. It was just weird, man. So it was just like one of those moments that, they made the call, we got to go. So we all get down. We loaded up Shawn's body into our vehicle. State Department guys left him with us. So we had Rome was driving. It was Hush, Jack, the linguist, Tonto, myself, OD, and Shawn's body in the back. So we pull out. We go back the way we came in. The other vehicle that we had to leave. We left it because the 3 of us went on foot. So that vehicle got stayed. But that's also where the grenade launcher was. So if you watch the damn movie, I didn't lose a grenade launcher. That was bullshit. I knew exactly where it was. But there was again, dozen so people around the vehicle. We had no idea who they were. They could have been part of the attack. So instead of us breaking seal, potentially all getting killed right there, because they had, gun trucks with discus mounted to them. There's, nothing we can do with that. So we just kept going right on by them, like we're just neighbors. So.
I mean, what's going through your head when they tell you 100 to 150 people are moving towards you?
It's like, oh, that's a lot of people. You're just like hoping they don't hit you. I mean, one thing I've learned though is what I try to tell people is they're shooting at you, you're probably not going to get hit. It's the ones that's shooting at somebody else is the ones that's going to hit you. Because I really rarely see them just kind of shoot like we do. They kind of do the whole spray pray thing. So, so we get back to our compound, we dismount, and we get attacked probably within about an hour.
What's the discussion like when you get back to your compound?
Really wasn't. It was just, we just dismounted and kind of went to pre-designated positions to defend the compound, especially since they just came back and tried to hit us. They're coming back for a 3rd time at the consulate. So it's like, there's no way, this is going to be a long night. So we just got out and we just kind of, Jack went, Oz, he was already there. So he had the State Department guys when they got there, he put one on each of the buildings besides building 1. The 2 other guys, one of the guys got pretty jacked up from smoke inhalation that was with the ambassador, and Shawn Smith. He made it out alive. But then the other, I don't know why the other guy didn't come out. But anyways, so there were 3 State Department guys up on the roofs. We had 4 local guards, and then we had 2 SPOs with us as well. So they were like, they did all the gate stuff and the monitoring of the cameras. So they were so the base was kind of secure for the most part. But we just kind of went and filled those gaps. I went to Tower 2, Oz went to Tower 3, Rowan went to Building 3, Jack 4, and OD and Tonto went to Building 2, so we can kind of cover the zombie land is what we called it. That's where we kind of figured, because the other one was just chuck points coming up that road. I mean, you didn't have to be in the front to really take care of that. I mean, it's just really easy. So, but I ended up moving from Tower 2 to Tower 3, and during this move is when we got attacked. I was actually carrying water to Oz when something came over the wall, probably exploded about 25 feet from me, something like that. It was pretty close. Didn't get hit by nothing, but dropped the water, kind of like trying to protect myself. And I'm gunfire's going on, but I'm just, adrenaline's rushing. Even sometimes you know you're hit, so I'm just checking myself, saying, okay, I'm not hit. Get up in there, and just start returning fire. Lasted, felt like forever, but probably like 5-10 minutes. Maybe 20, 15 attackers, but unlike the movie, they had a lot of concealment. So a lot of times you can only see the flashes. They're just shooting through shrubs. They're not in front of it. They're behind it. So even the night vision, you couldn't see them. So, we didn't have the cool infrared crap, just night vision. But and repelled that one, and that was probably about, I think they said like 1:30 in the morning or something like that, 1:30. That's about the time they found the ambassador's body. He was inside the consulate in his room is where they found him. And the locals didn't know who he was, but the neighbor was there. When he saw him, he actually grabbed him, and I got to see the actual camera footage from a cell phone. You could see it in his eyes. He was already gone. He wasn't alive. But from the moment he grabbed the ambassador, dragged him up, threw him in his car, took him to the hospital, pretty much the camera was just almost on his face the whole time. I mean, it was moving around, but yeah, there's a lot of things that people said, that he was raped, mutilated, and tortured. That never happened to him. That's all bullshit. None of that stuff ever happened. That's one other thing that kind of forced us into the book, because that stuff never got corrected. So anyway, so they found him about that time, but it wasn't verified until about 3 a.m. that it was actually him when we got the pictures of him in the video. So as we're sitting there, we heard that the team from Tripoli had just landed at the airport, but the militia that was supposed to show up didn't show up yet. And this is when we got the second attack. It's about 3 a.m. now. Same type of attack with RPG started, come over the back of the wall. There was a car that pulled up. Yeah, I wasn't in the tower. I was actually talking with the TL at the time. And because what I was trying to do, because they had everyone else kind of go into the rooms and get into personal belongings. So I was like, if we're going to evacuate, we need to get our own stuff. So I went and got my stuff, and I was kind of talking with the TL at the time. And that's when I knew about the ambassador and all that stuff. And then a car somehow got towards the back gate where the Jersey barriers were, so it couldn't get to us. It was about 50 yards or something like that. Dude gets out. Oz sees him. He goes to go throw something. Oz drops him, and that's when the RPG flies over, and I head back over to the tower, engage. That's when I end up getting some guys moved around they flanked us. That's the only maneuver they did. And so I end up getting shot in the side. Plate stopped it. Still hurts. Let me tell you, it still hurts. Now, unlike the movie, I didn't lay down and sit there for 5 minutes like a little baby. It kind of buckled me, put my hand up underneath, making sure I didn't feel a hole. I mean, it was wet because I'm freaking sweating. I didn't feel no hole, but it hurt. Felt like I was still shot. Didn't feel a hole, and I just got back in it. Then ended up checking myself after it was done, making sure I wasn't actually shot. But and that firefight probably lasted a little bit longer. It was probably double the guys that showed up. But I think Tonto and OD and even the camera guys said they could see them, some dudes crawling on their hands, some people getting dragged out. So we were hitting them. But and it was pretty quiet. Then the team from Tripoli, the militia showed up. Tonto moved from building 2 over to building 1 to guide them in. And that's where the whole laser, I lasered 2 guys, but it wasn't to identify them as targets. It was to let them know that they were my target. If they keep coming closer, I'm going to shoot you. And then Tonto used it, because that was just a live laser. It was let them know, like, you need to walk in this way, because they had no guns. But we had the sheep herders. They were still coming. Dude, it was weird. They were still coming, showing up and herding the damn sheep.
Are you serious?
Dude, it was so weird.
While all this is going
Yeah.
on? Man.
Yeah, I know. So, but anyway, so Tonto moved up. He did the lasso thing so they can they had our coordinates, but just to guide them in a little bit better. So he was just lassoing him in with the IR. So that's where that whole, we were lasering targets. No, we weren't. Anyways, so they come in, they get there. They go in, the team from Tripoli and the militia commander go into the compound and go to the, inside the command post. Why they let this militia guy in there, I don't know. But anyways, then Bub, he knew that Roan was there. I guess they worked in the teams together and stuff like that. And said, hey, where he's at. And, so he went up. Roan was there introducing him to Dave Ubin and Oz, and kind of, I guess, explained what was going on, when what I heard what sounded like a mortar going off. It's kind of like that thump. It's kind of hard to explain to people. When you're next to it, it's really loud. When you're not, you can kind of tell what it is, especially when you're in infantry. You do a lot of mortars. And I'm getting ready to click the radio when Tonto gets on and beats me to it. Hey, I think I just heard a mortar. Anyone wants to hear that? And I key the radio. I said, yeah. And that's when the round hits. And it hit probably, 25, I would say, yards west and 25 yards north from building C. Small arms fire opened up at the same time, and then those guys opened up. So I just kind of look and I see the explosion. So I go back to my area just in case, because again, you're waiting for more attacks. So like, we're just, you got to trust the guys. They trust me to watch that side. So then I hear another one going off. Don't ask me how I can hear these things, but that one comes in, it hits, kind of tags the top of the wall, but blows up on the other side. So, I'm looking at the explosion. That ended up taking out Dave Ubin, because he had taken his helmet off and he got a bunch of shrapnel to the forehead. So that dropped him. Then I heard another round going off. And to me, from my angle, that one hits here, that one hits here. I'm thinking, because they want to come to this area, they're trying to take out the tower. So I jump out of the tower and I start moving back to what we call the prison gym. And the round comes and it hits the top of the building. And I guess 2 more hit right behind it. And, everything just goes quiet. So I'm looking at the building. I'm like, holy shit. So I get on the radio immediately, say, hey, you guys up on building 3, you guys okay? Hush gets on the radio, says, yeah, we're okay in here. I'm like, you shut the fuck up. I'm talking about the guys on top of the building. Jack gets on the radio. He's over on building 4, which is closest to building 3. He says, hey, Tig, I got no movement. I can't see anybody moving. So I start sprinting over there, start going up the ladder. Again, with the small arms, the wall, it doesn't go all the way up. So as I start getting the crest of the wall, I'm checking my 6, and, as much as I can and still go fast. And then I just kind of jump over. Over here on the left-hand side is one guy. He's got his pistol out. So I start talking to him immediately. Say, say, hey, man, you can be okay. Say, calm, I got you. Had my, actually ended up having Oz's go bag instead of mine, because mine got left in the vehicle over at the consulate. I didn't lose that either. It got left in the vehicle. So I start going through Oz's stuff, trying to figure out where his tourniquets are and stuff like that. Because Ubin, his left leg, left arm almost completely severed off. I mean, it was just shredded. So if you actually watch the movie and they show Oz's arm and stuff, that's what Dave Ubin's leg and arm looked like. It was just shredded. So I go for his leg first, start getting it on, and then before I started this, I got on the radio and said, hey guys, I got men down. I need help up here. And then I started going to work, finding things, and got the tourniquet on him. Got the second tourniquet on. I'm trying to look him over. It's still dark out, and it's kind of like the blue light kind of a thing. So it's not light enough to really see, but you can kind of see shadows. So I'm trying to look at them as close as I can without busting the flashlight out, because those are pretty accurate freaking mortars. So there's got to be a spotter somewhere. So for your audience, again, a spotter is somebody who sees what we call a splash, which is the impact, and then they tell the mortar team how to adjust. So that's what I was afraid of. So they see movement, they're going to relaunch them or something. So I have no idea why they stopped. So I look them over as best I can. I said, all right, this, right now is the best I can do. I got to, because I know there's dudes with other stuff got to be blown up. And I grab my stuff, get on the radio, say, hey, I got guys down, I need help. I go to turn. That's when Dave said, hey, give me back my gun. I'm thinking, oh, fuck, you're always taught, don't give somebody back, especially when they give back their gun when their bell's been rung that bad. But I also thought, it might help keep him calm and stop him, give him something else to think about besides going into shock. So I just unloaded it, he took the mag out, racked the round out, and just handed it back to him. I doubt he realized I did it because, still dark. I mean, I had my back turned towards him, but to me, again, it was just that try to keep him calm kind of a thing.
Yeah.
So I got up, started moving across. There was one guy just laying flat in the middle of the building, not moving. Keep moving. There's we had a little water tower thing. Water, you can just hear it flowing. I didn't know what it was at first. But I could see somebody kind of laying against the wall, moving. Somebody else was laying down in the fetal position, but went straight to the guy that was moving. Ended up being Oz. He's just kind of sitting there. I think he saw me coming, and he had his tourniquet out. I think he was starting to do it for himself, but I think he saw me. He's like, I got, I'll just let him put it on. Oz is kind of lazy. I mean, you interviewed him. You kind of know. So he's just kind of, just like bouncing his wrist up and down, saying, hey, Tig, check this out. Like literally, I mean, it's kind of limp. It's pretty jacked up, but he's just like, hey, I think it's messed up. I'm like, yeah, quit playing with it. You're going to make it even worse, man. Stop. And he's like, yeah, but look, it was just one of those moments. And I ended up just, last time, get on the radio, said, I got guys down, I need help. And that's when OD gets on the radio, says, hey, if nobody's going to go over there and help, I'm going to get off this damn roof and do it myself. That's when I hear Hush get on the radio again and says, no, just stay where you're at. We're on our way. Not that they're coming up. I guess they're just now leaving the building. So I get the tourniquet on Oz. I get him up, say, hey, can you walk to the ladder by yourself? And he's kind of like, he's seeing Roan kind of right there next to him. He's like, well, I guess I got no choice. And so I kind of guide him a little bit just to make sure he didn't collapse, I guess, because, they got to be, that brain's got to be wrong pretty bad. So he moves on. He was able to walk. I go over to the third guy, which ended up being Roan. Flipped him over onto his back, checked for a pulse. Never got a pulse, but his throat moved. So, for me, adrenaline could have been pumping. I don't really know. So I kind of sat for another second, didn't feel anything, ripped off his body armor, lifted up his shirt. Try to, do a look, listen, feel. Again, couldn't really see too much, but I was at least trying to see if I could hear or feel a breath. Couldn't feel anything, and that's at that moment I was like, okay, I got to break out the flashlight. Got the flashlight, checked his pupils, no dilation. So right there, I kind of knew he was gone. And then with Oz, he was just going down the ladder. One of the Delta Force guys was just up there. And I was like, Oz is going to go down there. They're going to start screaming because Roan was our only medic on the base. So I just got on the radio, said, hey, everybody, Roan's gone. Went over to the fourth individual, again, rolled him over. And initially when I saw him, again, it was still kind of dark. I thought it was Jack. It processed everything really quick, but I'm like, oh, wait a second. No, I can't, because I was just talking to Jack. He's over on that building. So, but did the same process to him, did a pulse check, look, listen, feel, pupil dilation, there was nothing. But this time, after I'd finished this, I could hear, I don't remember if it was a team leader or it was the country team leader, but they're like, hey, we got to hurry up and get off the building. We got to hurry up and get down. So this time, the whole time I've been up there was no fire, no shooting going on, no nothing. In my mind, though, I'm just like, at this point, there's no rush. Mortars keep coming in, we're all dead. These buildings are not designed to handle freaking mortar strikes. And, it was by the grace of God that building even stood by it was 3 81 millimeter mortars, they say, got hit by. I mean, that's insane. But where it hit was directly because the walls over there, they were like, about 1.5 foot concrete walls. And that's where the mortars hit, right in a row on those walls. Damn. I think that's the only reason why it stood.
Wow.
So I went over, again, they're like, hurry up, we need to get off. I saw them. They had Dave Ubin, the Delta Force guys. And about the only thing they really did was they built a backpack, kind of human backpack to get Dave Ubin off the roof. So they got him down, and I'm just collecting the weapon systems. I'm went over to Roan, and grabbed his guns, checking his pockets for like wallet or anything, just in case we had to leave him, because it may have happened, right? So then, before I left, I knelt down, said a prayer over him, went over to Bub at the time. Again, didn't know who the hell he was, never worked with him. But again, same thing, checking his pockets, checking for wallets, case wedding ring, and didn't know, trying to check as much gear as I could. Said the prayer over him. Then I got down. At this time, they're just getting a stretcher around for Dave Ubin. So I go in, I drop all the weapons off. I go back. Oz, they got him laying on the ground, so I'm stepping over him. They're cutting his clothes off. I go straight to the back, which ended up being our medical room, I guess. It was the kitchen, but it was our medical room. And I'm trying to open up the blast doors. That way they could bring him in through the back versus the front, because he was jacked up, avoid the staffers from seeing it, I guess, from seeing him. Couldn't get the doors open, and got up like a fraction of the way, and it was just those mortars jacked it up. So I go and I just grab 4 more tourniquets, and I got my pocket, put them in the backpack, start walking back around, and 2 other the GRS guys actually end up having Dave Ubin, and they were walking in front, and passing by the 2 Delta Force guys. Again, at the time, I didn't know. I thought they were just GRS guys. And they're like, "Hey, where are you going?" I said, "I'm going to go back towards the tower and watch that sector." And they're like, "Oh, you can't do that. It's too dangerous." I'm like, "What the fuck you mean I can't do that? I've been up there all fucking night. It's not too." So we're like having a shouting match. That's when the country team leader comes out. He's like, "What the hell's going on?" And he's like, "I need to go over there and watch the fucking sector because it's unprotected." And Delta Force guy's like, "Oh, it's too dangerous. You can't go over there." I was like, "Fuck this! This is stupid." And then that's when team leader just go right here. Just stand by right here. I'm just like, again, I got walls higher than the ceiling in here, and I'm like going, this whole freaking area now is completely fucking unprotected.
When did the Delta Force guys show up?
Just before the mortars hit.
How did they get there?
With the team from Tripoli. So. Yeah, so we're just I'm just again like, this is fucking stupid. I mean, this is the dumbest security position ever, because people would be literally sneaking up to our wall right now and coming in. We wouldn't even know it. All of our cameras got shot out in that whole corner. All of our lights got shot out, so it's completely unprotected. Boone might be able to see some of it over there, but again, you still had a bunch of shrub. You had a bunch of, again, sheep pens. They could be sneaking up on us and all kinds of shit. It's just like, this is so stupid. But then I think one of the case officers got a hold of another unit that was down there, and they had about 300 strong, gun trucks, all that stuff. They showed up, again, I think 7:38 in the morning, something like that. And that's when I'm just standing there like, this is so freaking stupid. The 2 Delta Force guys come back, said, "Hey, we got to get the guys off the roof." And I'm like, "Okay, we got a tow strap that we use to pull the tires." And as we're walking, I'm telling them I can go get it. We can lower them down. They're like, "Oh, don't worry about it. We got this. So we just need you to come and pull security for us." So I go and I start going up the ladder, pull security, right? Like, "No, what are you doing? Just stay down here and wait." "So how do you want me to pull security for you while you're up on the roof while I'm down here? And I got a wall that's like 10 feet from me." This is stupid. So they're up on the ladder, and I'm just kind of sitting there again, like, this is so freaking dumb. And in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, they're going to, probably do the whole backpack thing, bring the guys down, because we got time. Now we have like a 300-man militia surrounding our compound. They got gun trucks. They're in uniform. They're very well organized, very well structured. So, again, we had time. They lower them down. And next thing I know, as I'm sitting here, I'm I'm looking this way, back this way. Again, it's another like a shed. So all I can really do is look forward. But even in front of me, I got a big ass generator house. So I really can't see shit. And next thing I know, I see a body get put up on top of the ledge. And, you know, I'm still probably, I don't know, good 3 feet, you know, from the outside the ledge. And next thing I know, they just push him off. He comes down right next to me, smacks. I can hear the shoulder crunch, his head hit. And then you can see where he ran into because we had like really thick kind of rose bushes, kind of sliced his stomach open a little bit, and that ended up being Bub. And I'm just like, holy shit, they just did this. And then, you know, I'm still standing there and I'm going, oh, I know it's fucking coming next. You know, the first one was kind of a shock. The other one was just fucking miserable. And again, you just hear him come down, smack, you know, you can hear the shoulder hit and then the head hits. And again, in my mind, at least try to lower them down by their hands, something, let them drop, but just to shove them off like that was fucking disgusting. And then, you know, what they told the Roan's wife and everybody's family was, oh, we got them off respectfully. That's not respect. That was a fucking disgrace. You know, there's nothing you could do about it. It was done. So a couple of the guys came around. I ended up grabbing Bub's arms, and the other URS guy grabbed his legs, carried him around, got him up on the bed. And I know we'll go back to a little bit more about the fight that we had sitting there that they're saying that I lied about what they did. They're saying, again, they're trying to tell everybody that they got them off dignified and all that crap. They're trying to say that the Delta Force, I hate bashing on guys, kind of like those dudes that kind of started this whole thing again. But they got an award saying they went up on the roof under fire and all this shit. There was no fire. I was the first one up on the damn roof. You know,
They got an award for that?
They got the second highest award. Both of them. Second highest.
For going up on a roof.
Yep. And getting Dave Ubben off. That's all they did. And throwing Ronan Bub off. You know, so when they came out and started attacking me, saying we lied about that I lied about it. Oh, I was pissed. So I started going through all the congressional reports. Well, there's actually another eyewitness proving that they threw the bodies off the roof in that report because he saw it through the back door. He talks about it in Congress. So now they're actually trying to get upgraded to the Medal of Honor as well.
They're trying to upgrade that to the Medal of Honor?
Yep. For showing up late and again, reading through his congressional report, they waited 2 to 3 minutes after the mortars hit to even come out. Dude, I was up on that fucking roof in like 30 seconds. So anyways, if you guys, there was a whole fight. I mean, you know about that big fight, and I was pissed. I was going off.
Yeah.
They're trying to slander, saying that, you know, anyways. So just get them up on, and then me and Jack were supposed to be the drivers for the flatbed. Well, he kind of came. Obviously, he heard about Roan, but again, he didn't know anything about Bub either. And I guess he worked with Bub in the teams. They were on the same team together, and he saw him, and I just saw him go white. He was just kind of like, holy shit. So he kind of got in the driver's seat and just kind of sat there. And I looked, I was like, dude, you want me to drive? He's like, yeah. So we kind of swapped. We covered them up with sheets the best we could. So we ended up going out. Everybody else is like, they're all in these sedans and shit, all these fast freaking vehicles. And we got this Haji flatbed, 2-mile-an-hour truck, and we're fucking I'm trying to drive this damn thing. You know, we went the long route. We went through the city, which ended up being 13 miles. But I just remember the militia coming up next to us, like on the main highway. They're like the cars were gone. We're like back, me and Jack are just back by ourselves with 2 militia trucks. And I'm like, I'm going as fast as I could in this damn thing. You know, so I'm just like, fuck, we're going to get hit going to the airport. So we finally catch up, Well, they were still sitting at the gate trying to get in. Well, the militia controlling the airport didn't like the militia that was escorting us. A lot of people don't understand is that militia that showed up that actually rescued us from that attack in the compound was Gaddafi's military. So they didn't even know, again, our intel service didn't even know they were there. Had no idea.
Jeez.
So we finally get in there. We pull up to the bird that Bub had come down in on, and State Department guys start loading all their equipment that they pulled out of the consulate, start getting loaded up. Actually, I went on the bird and I took my body armor because my side was killing me. Just kind of took it off. Came back because I thought we were all going to get on this bird, and I didn't. So my body armor left without me. So again, one of those other things I'll never do again. But so we get everybody on all the non-essentials, and Oz, he kind of gets. He was being. I think you might have the picture of it. I think I found it at one point. Anyways, he's in the back of the truck laying down, kind of bandaged up a little bit. I think one of the militiamen took a picture of it. But anyways, so very expensive jet, very nice jet. It had a stewardess, very nice cabinets. And so when Oz starts walking up to get up onto the plane, she's standing there and just kind of looking at him, and just eyes get wide. Next thing you know, she takes off. I'm kind of standing with Oz and just kind of like, I don't know what's going on, and I turned and started doing something else when I guess Oz, because he was going up he was just kind of going up there, and what happened, she ran to the back to get a bunch of towels to come up. Oz, he tells it, he's like, well, I thought she, okay, I've still got, a bunch of pop marks all over. I'm bleeding kind of all over these little holes. And he's kind of thinking like, okay, he's going to wrap him up, cover him up. Nope. She started covering up all the seats and the floor and stuff with all these towels. So he went and dripped blood everywhere. So Oz is kind of like, well, if you think I'm bad, just wait till the next guy comes on. They end up having to like rip the cabinets out of this plane so they can get Dave Ubin in, because again, he's on the stretcher and stuff. So they end up getting him in, get him on the plane. They bolt the plane up. About 5 minutes later, the door comes flying back open. Dude, the pilot jumps out. He's running all over the bottom of the plane. We're just like, what the hell's going on? Well, everybody that works in a high threat environment has to qualify with a pistol. They got to carry a gun, right? Doesn't mean they're technically qualified. Well, the maintenance guy pulled the trigger while he was in the plane, fired the gun. So now they're looking for this bullet. But as the pilot's out there looking for it, they found it. It actually, right where the seat post is, it hit right there and just stopped. There's that gap like this. The bullet would have went left or right, it would never took off. And they said that when they finally got up to Tripoli, that if Dave Ubin had been another 10, 15 minutes, he'd have been dead. Just because of so much blood loss. They couldn't stop the bleeding. Because again, stopped a lot with the arm. I think they ended up adding another tourniquet to his arm because it wouldn't stop. But then he was just blistered all over the place. So again, one of those God things, man. So we stayed back. We had the two Delta Force guys with us, a country team leader, our team leader, a linguist, Jack, Tonto, OD, and one State Department guy. Yeah, so there's 9 of us that stayed back. So as we're sitting there, the plane had taken off. Then the militia, they started coming over. They wanted, what are we going to do with the vehicles? We started divvying out the vehicles. And I'm looking at the back of the bed, and I'm like, I thought there was 3 guys. We got our 2 guys. Where's the other guy at? And I start looking, and I'm thinking, holy shit, they left Shawn's body in the fucking car. So I see the SUV starting to pull away, and I'm just fucking running for this SUV. And the blonde Air Delta guy, I think that was the Marine. And he's just like, dude, this Shawn, help me get Shawn's body. So we had to start, luckily I stopped him. Otherwise we'd have not had Shawn's body with us. So ended up getting Shawn's body, grabbed it.
You got it?
Yeah. He ended up getting it out and getting it onto the flatbed. Again, I don't know why. Again, it's just like we're doing the whole State Department's job, but luckily I was in mind to actually think. Otherwise, who knows what happened. So after the vehicles left, the commander came up from that militia and said, "Hey, we can go and recover the ambassador's body." They had the numbers and they had the firepower, because at the time it was Ansar Asrias that was actually commandeering that hospital, because that's where we were sending them to. So the militia commander, he went, took him about 45 minutes or so, came back. We stopped the vehicle, kind of away from us. Myself, that same Delta Force guy, and Tonto walked up, looked the ambassador over, just lifted up his shirt, just make sure there was no incisions or anything like that. So again, that's how I know for a fact he wasn't tortured or mutilated, and he wasn't raped. So he still, his belt buckle was over. Well, yeah, I mean, surprised the belt buckle wasn't on backwards. Who knows? I mean, shit happens in combat. But again, I went over that morning and saw him, and he was wearing the exact same suit. He had the same suit pants and he had the white undershirt. So he never even got out of his work clothes. So and we brought him over, got him onto the flatbed, and then that's when I don't know, about 10 o'clock that morning, a Libyan C-130 landed, pulled off to the side. The team leader and the country team leader and the linguist went over there, and I guess talked them into flying us out of there, because at the time we had no idea. We had no idea if we're going to have to drive up or wait here. That bird's going to turn around and come back and pick us up. Nobody really knew. So one thing was fun. Dude, the airport was open. So we're sitting out there. We got belt feds. We still had, our guns were there, just not my body armor. The airport planes are landing. We're just kind of sitting out there, big militia group standing out there. People are just kind of looking out. It was just so real, man. Just like, holy, like going on. Like, that's life, man. So we take off. We land in, I think it was like taking off. That's when everything started hitting me. Kind of like, okay, we're kind of safe. And then to me, it was just replaying them getting thrown off the roof over and over. And that's what fucked me up.
Yeah, I talked to Tonto and Oz about it, and they said that really, really haunts you.
Yeah. So, yeah, we landed, got them off, and then that's when, when we put them on the plane, we had their arms, so their arms are kind of sucked. I think Tonto talks about it. We had to snap them to get them to lay down and put them in the body bags and stuff. It's just one of those things you're not really thinking about at the time, honestly, the rigor mortis. And so that was pretty shitty, but at least we got them home. There's a lot of guys that didn't make it back home. So, and then we get to the annex, the CIA compound, and we pull in. Dude, the road is just lined with luggage. I'm just like, what the fuck is going on? Well, they pulled everybody from the embassy and told them all to pack up. So all their luggage was outside waiting to get evacuated. So we go in, we get debriefed. We tell them, our side, what happened, all this crap. And, to me, I didn't really talk about the standout order, because that was just more of an internal thing anyways. But the more you know about things, you're just like, you motherfucker. But anyways, so we go back and we get a little bit of lunch, take a little nap. And I think that's when Hush kind of came around, got us, and said, hey, you guys are going to evacuate. We're like, why? Why don't we just fucking stay here? Now they're going to send you guys back home. So it makes no fucking sense. You're better off standing here just in case something happens, protecting the compound, Like, okay, whatever. So we ended up borrowing, because, dude, my shit was all tore up, blood everywhere. So I ended up borrowing clothes from everybody else. And get there, we get flown into Tripoli. Here's what I want to tell you this part. We get flown into Tripoli. General Ham was there. He greets us off the bird. And we go in, USO's there. They have, all kinds of stuff for us, right? But we got the whole entire embassy, which, I don't know, like 100 something freaking people. And remember, they had all their stuff. But we didn't even have our backpacks. We didn't have time to grab it. So we ain't got shit except for the clothes that we're wearing. And they start, because I guess they didn't want to let people know who we were or anything like that. Even the State Department guys they were kind of sitting with us, not even with the State Department. And, they said, okay, come up, grab the stuff that you need, and, just take what you need. Dude, by the time the guys were actually in Benghazi, everything was gone. All the embassy staffers fucking took everything. Clothes, socks, underwear, toiletry, everything was gone. And when we walk up, you could tell like, oh, you guys are the ones that were down there, huh? Like, yeah. So they ended up giving us like each of us like $500 credit cards, but that wasn't the point. It was like, holy, you guys got all your shit. And they literally, pants, socks, underwear, shoes, they fucking took it all. It was like, you motherfuckers. That's the State Department for you, though. So we wake up. The State Department security guys, they were pretty much ordered to go talk to the FBI. We were asked if we wanted to go talk to the FBI, and to us, why? There was no for us. It was an attack on a. It is what it is. It was an attack. How is this an FBI investigation? We're in a a high threat environment, not really technically a war zone, but it's a war zone. What's the FBI going to do? So we never talked to the FBI there. They kept us there until after they brought the guys home. The moment the ceremony was over with, they came down and said, you guys can go home, but you got to buy your own ticket. So we were able to finally leave the following day. Flew to D.C., stayed there for about 3 days, debriefed twice, saw the medical because my lungs were just cooked from the smoke and the fire. And I think it was about a week after that when I finally was able to finally go home. So it was about a total week before I actually made it home. So that's the story.
How were you graded at HQ?
Pretty good. It was a pretty good grading at that time. And they were showing us around. I think they had no, not at that time. It was the second time I came back. I had no negativity really from them until I think till Tonto started the rumors about him doing a book, him and Oz. That's when the treatment got a little bit different, but I still wasn't part of it initially. I didn't even know they were doing it, but because I went back 2 more times. So, it was, you do it for long enough, there's a lot of little scrapples you kind of get involved with. It's just, that's the one that everybody knows about.
So did these Delta guys, did they see it was over when they showed up?
Yeah.
Was it all the way over?
They were there when the mortars hit, but that was it. They didn't come out. They didn't shoot a gun. They didn't fire. They were never out in the open under fire. Nothing.
And they got the second highest award.
Yep.
In
For
our
Army
game.
and Marines. What is the Navy Star, I think, or something like that.
Navy Cross.
Navy Cross, yeah.
And they're going to be upgraded to the Medal of Honor.
I read it. Yep, they're trying to get upgraded to the Medal of Honor. Which to me, it's just a slap in the face. It's a disgrace to that award. So I'm doing my best to fight it, but again, I've even told a couple of the Medal of Honor recipients, it's like, this is bull. It degrades what the purpose of it is.
What do they say?
They can't really do anything. It's up to some committee and crap, which again, you try to get a hold of, try to email, nothing. So, it goes like if those guys get that award, I would never be able to look at a Medal of Honor the same way ever again. Because I'll be thinking the same thing, like, you didn't fucking earn that.
And people came after you for this?
Yeah, I had the other Delta Force podcast came at me. Some other journalist that does Fox News came at me for it, saying that we lied, because they're saying the Delta Force guys are saying that I lied, that they got them down respectfully. They were up on the roof under fire, all this horse shit. Again, I was up there. I was going to a third individual, put on 2 tourniquets, looked one over, put it on another tourniquet, looked one over, getting him up, moving him, going to the third individual before anybody got up on the roof. So, I was up there for a while.
Did they stop coming after you?
I haven't heard anything yet, but I mean, they could just have blocked me again. I only saw it like at last. It was on Fox News. I was scrolling through it. I was like saying that we fabricated the book. The book was full. I was like, what the hell is this? And that's what I read. The Delta Force guy saying this and this. And I was like, oh, hell no. So I kind of went at them. And, they're trying to say, we put this out there. Nobody reached out. Well, actually, they talked about on the show how Boone's team, they laughed it off. All that he tried to reach out. And again, it was just a bunch of horseshit. All they do is try to tear guys down. I mean, you got other operators trying to tear other operators apart, which is horseshit. In my opinion, if somebody says over exaggerate something, I don't really care. But again, if you're going to sit there and tell me that I lied about it, I'm going to have a big problem with it. And so again, I went through, that's a lot of congressional hearing stuff to read through. Again, found his statement contradicts what he says, even in his own freaking citation that he was given. What he testifies in Congress contradicts his own citation. And then this other guy, again, he says, well, I contacted the Special Forces Operations Command within 24 hours. And he said, no, his awards are good. No, nobody's going to get back to you that fast, period.
Who was that?
I forgot what the guy's name is. He's like the big, usually I guess he does more sports crap, but he's buddies with the Delta Force guys that do that podcast. So,
This is the Anti-Hero podcast.
yeah, but it's the other guy that they use, I think, too, also. This is some kind of big podcaster as well. I can't remember his guy's name, but so far when I did my whole, I did a whole video on it and stuff, even Roan's mom got a hold of me because she heard about it. She's all, hell no. Because she did her own investigation into shit. So she knows the truth. Because I told her, they were telling her that they got Roan off respectfully. So when we got a fake award from the agency, they came up to me and they're like, hey, you remember when we were under fire up on the roof? No.
They tried to tell you that
We were under fire on the
tried to
roof.
basically manipulate you into saying that they were under fire on the rooftop.
Yeah, and then Roan's wife wanted to talk to me, but I couldn't talk to her at that time because I was still dealing with them getting fucking tossed off the damn roof. How am I going to tell the wife that? But I guess they had already told her that they got him off respectfully.
Who are these guys? Do you have their names?
I don't, right off the head. Their awards are public. So it's disgusting. So, but we did get a really good coffee coaster award from the agency.
What?
A coffee coaster. But we got an award that's probably about as big as this, maybe bigger. They gave it to the cook and the maintenance guy and the staffers too.
With this podcast coming out about all these guys, I mean, it's tricky, and one of them that just got hammered. I mean, he came in here and over-embellished, lied about his entire fucking service record. And I think that's disgusting. And it takes away
It does.
from people like you and every other person that's come in here and sat across me and documented their service, what they were a part of, historic events like Benghazi. And that takes away from the story. And I can appreciate that. At the same time, if you don't have your fucking facts straight, people commit suicide over this shit.
No.
They commit suicide over this shit.
It's crazy.
And it is destroying lives.
It destroys the whole community. It does. It does a lot of damage. Again,
And at the same time, some of the records needed to be set straight.
no, I agree. But to go out and
But you have to be very
tactful.
fucking careful
Yeah.
when you broach these type of topics. Because if you do it wrong,
It's, yeah.
you are the fucking problem.
Yep. Kind of what they did to me.
Do you have anything to say to them?
No, I think I've kind of already have. Again, they're like, well, you can come on the podcast. Like, why would I come on to your podcast when you couldn't have the balls to reach out to me initially and ask
They
me?
didn't even reach out to you?
No, none of them did. I'm easy to get a hold of. I'm pretty much a public figure. So for them to have an excuse so we couldn't bullshit. They
Why
did
do you-
this. They did this. I didn't. So I don't think I saw what they did until like April, and they did it like in November of last year. I had no idea until I saw that guy's report on Fox News.
Why do you think the journalist targeted you? Where did this stem from?
So I went after him because he slandered me and on Fox News. So I came after him, and then that's when the other podcast popped in, and so I was actually doing them both at the same time. I'm not very. I won't back down. I really don't care.
Good for you.
So I went at him. And obviously their community came at me, and I just fired right back. Fuck you.
Who's their community?
Well, whoever
Their
watches the
audience
podcast,
or
there's some
Delta
other
people or what?
other Delta Force guys that came at me, and again, I kind of threw their whole model back at them, and I forgot exactly what their motto is, but then some other guys like, well, you can't be using that. You're not this. Like, I'm not saying I'm not. That's their motto. Is like, their own motto is like, don't go after your own brothers. But what are they? That's their whole podcast. So, but yeah, there's some other people in their community. Not a lot, but again, whatever. I'll stand. I know where I stand.
Good for you, man. Why do you think these guys are chasing this award anyways? Most guys,
I don't know. Again, I didn't know they even had the second highest award until this. I had no idea what they got. Like, whatever.
what does it claim in the award?
They rendered aid under fire, and the biggest one, again, they rendered aid under fire, and they escorted unarmed civilians to safety. Both of those, that's all a lie. They didn't render aid under fire. Yeah, they rendered aid, but they never even escorted any. All of us were armed. I mean, we're all agency personnel and State Department in a high threat environment. Every one of us were armed. But for me, I mean, it's the whole rendering aid under fire crap. No, you didn't. Because even if you rendered aid afterwards, it definitely wasn't under fire.
And all three of you guys have the same story because I talked to all three of you about it.
Yeah. Well, again, if you read the book, how we did the book, none of us ever talked to each other. That's the thing about that book. We never talked to each other. We never discussed anything. Never had a chance to, because I went back to work. I think maybe Oz and Tonto did, but even then, I don't know how much they would have. So when I said, yeah, I'll finally do it, the authors, what he wanted us to do was just tape record what we saw, what we did, and send it to him. Again, Jack is over here. Tonto's in it. Again, I never talked to Jack, Tonto, or OD until after I sent my recordings in for the book. So what he did, he took all our recordings and just meshed them together. And that's how he came up with the book. This is probably one of the most factual books that I know of you could have done between 5 people.
Why do you think some of the guys never went public?
Jack is still working. He's still doing.
He's still working?
He's still doing, not for the agency or anything like that, but plus he has a little small mom and pop kind of a business. So he just kind of wanted to keep that out. But yeah, he still does high security stuff in the States. These SEALs are just nuts, man. They just like to keep working. So yeah, that's why he didn't. And then Bone, he finally came out.
Yeah.
I think he was just stuck in the closet, lost the key or something. I don't know.
Just didn't want to revisit it.
Yeah. But I think he was working too. He was still doing stuff as well. And I think that's why.
Yeah, I met him in Yemen.
So, but yeah, I mean, initially I was going to be, I wasn't going to come out public either.
Why not?
Just didn't really want to deal with it. I kind of wanted to work still too. And I I would say I kind of got talked into it by the author because, because I was kind of like in every major portion of it, but also I was the one that got told to stand down. So it's kind of like, it's going to be their word. They did kind of attack us, but not as hard as we thought. But he was like, if you don't, it's going to be kind of like they're going to have to use your words to defend themselves versus you coming out and being able to defend it directly. So it was like the day before, it was like I had to tell him yes or no.
How long did you take off before you went back to work?
It took me about 6 months to heal up.
What was it like going back to work?
Pretty normal. I mean, I went back and then I actually did a video testified in front of the Senate committee, which was weird because they actually, when I was testifying to tell us, they actually had Bob and Hush on the video conference. So it was just kind of, I don't know, it was just
They
weird.
had those two on the conference call? Mm-hmm. How was that?
So they would answer, I could tell they would hurry up and answer questions that I would probably going to say different to. And I just sat there. I was like, whatever. Especially the stand down order. Bob answered that one really quick. And then
What did he say?
he pretty much said, well, I don't remember if there was this. And, it was probably because of like, I was waiting for support. Yeah, that's what it was. It's because, there was, that's not really what I said, or if I did, I didn't mean it that way. And then when I went and testified in front of Congress, Hush answered it really quick. Because when I went and testified, I was with Hush. And again, I'm just kind of like, and I'm not the type of person, like, if you don't ask me, I'm not going to answer for you, kind of a thing. I mean, is it a big deal? I mean, it's a big deal because 2 people died from it. Because you had somebody who was in the lead, actually both of them. If Hush didn't know, I don't know if he knew or not that 17 Feb wasn't coming at that time. But I mean, his decision to make us wait when he knew nobody was coming got 2 people killed directly. So again, at the time, I think that's why they were doing what they were doing, because again, he was retiring. He was a 30-year agency guy, and everybody was trying to cover their own asses for the mistakes that were made. And again, instead of holding people accountable, they got promoted. I mean, they all, the team leader, Hush, and Bob, the country team leader, they all got the Intel Star. And if people don't know, that's equivalent to the Medal of Honor. They didn't give us shit. And we don't do it for that, but again, it just goes back to like a slap in the face.
Yeah. It definitely goes to show you what this is actually all about.
To me, it's just, that's all it was. It was just
Fucking
them,
bureaucracy.
them covering up each other's asses. And that's why you watch, Don Bongino, and it's what is the post, like, the shit that I've seen, I'll never forget. Like, this country is fucked. That's kind of what I got from that. Just because of the corruption.
I'm sorry, man.
Yeah.
How are you doing today?
No, I'm good. Yeah. Got divorced and got remarried. Did a 180. And she's a very religious Christian lady. But she's been really good. She's been helping me quite a bit, dealing with a lot of different things. 'Cause, what I was going through, pretty much like in 2020, kind of started my own divorce path, and it just kind of really taken more of a big shitter. And then, 2023 found her when I was running for mayor the first time, and just kind of turned everything around.
How'd you meet her?
She did an interview with me. Then
She did an interview with you.
yeah. So she's got her version of how it happened. I got my real version of how it happened. So again, I jumped in the mayor race in 23, like last minute. I mean, I didn't really know what I just wanted to throw a wrench in the system and just try to get things actually done. And I don't bullshit. I'm just gonna be direct. I don't like, if I don't really know something, I'm gonna tell you. I'm not gonna, like, a lot of these, when I was up there, when I started doing the interviews or the panels, whatever, their answers started changing to what my answers were. It was like, you motherfuckers. They're all like, all these politicians, they're all fluff. They change their answers for the audience. I don't change for anybody. I don't really care. But anyway, so I was doing my coming out of the closet launch, and she found out about it. Normally she wouldn't show up to the local races and stuff like that, but she got hit up by like 3 people, and so she finally came. And then my manager and my manager, I guess my manager kind of hit her up to do an interview with me. And then we kind of did our interview, and then she started stalking me. She won't say it, but that's the truth. So she started coming in, doing some training. So I was doing a training also at DCF Guns. And she was actually going over to another Magnum that was there. She was there, and then she canceled that membership, joined DCF. And then, we kind of started talking a little bit more, and she'd use excuses like, hey, the security team at Karis Bible College wants to meet you. I mean, they did, but it was her just stalking me is what it was. And then we just kind of kept on from there. And then eventually we had lunch and just kind of kept going. And and then once I got married, she stopped training. So that's how I know she was stalking me.
Right on, man.
But no, that's kind of how we met. I mean, it was, she's been a big blessing. So
Good for you, man.
it's probably what actually, all the, I don't know if we go into the music stuff yet, but kind of started pushing that stuff out. Yeah.
Let's take a break real quick.
Okay.
The most important action you can take today is to help protect your family's future from cyber criminals and online predators. And Bunker, that's Bunkr, can help you do just that. Bunker was developed by experts with 25 years of experience catching criminals and fighting cybercrime. They created Bunker to help protect their own families, and now they're sharing it with you. Bunker even offers a family plan. With the family plan, you get a private messenger to share messages, photos, and files with your spouse and children, connecting only with people you approve. No spam, no surveillance, no imposters, ever. You also get a password manager to help safeguard your family's online accounts, including financial, shopping, streaming, and social media. You even get a vault to help securely store important documents like photos, IDs, birth certificates, and passports. Visit their website, bunker.life/SRS, and use code SRS for 25% off your family plan today. That's bunkr.life/SRS and use code SRS for 25% off your family plan today. That's bunkr.life/SRS and use code SRS for 25% off your family plan today. Between the streaming services that gave you free trials when you bought something online to the premium apps that you don't even use anymore, it's easy to lose track of what you're actually spending each month. But there's an app designed to help you manage your money better: Rocket Money. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. Rocket Money shows you all your expenses in one place, including subscriptions you forgot about. If you see a subscription you no longer want, Rocket Money will help you cancel it. Rocket Money's 5 million members have saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions, with members saving up to $740 a year when they use all of the app's premium features. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions today and reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/SRS today. That's rocketmoney.com/SRS. rocketmoney.com/SRS. I know everybody out there has to be just as frustrated as I am when it comes to the BS and the rhetoric that the mainstream media continuously tries to force feed us. And I also know how frustrating it can be to try to find some type of a reliable news source. It's getting really hard to find the truth and what's going on in the country and in the world. And so one thing we've done here at Shawn Ryan Show is we are developing our newsletter. And the first contributor to the newsletter that we have is a woman, former CIA targeter. Some of you may know her as Sarah Adams, call sign Superbad. She's made 2 different appearances here on the Shawn Ryan Show. And some of the stuff that she has uncovered and broke on this show is just absolutely mind-blowing. And so I've asked her if she would contribute to the newsletter and give us a weekly intelligence brief. So it's going to be all things terrorists, how terrorists are coming up through the southern border, how they're entering the country, how they're traveling, what these different terrorist organizations throughout the world are up to. And here's the best part, the newsletter is actually free. We're not going to spam you. It's about 1 newsletter a week, maybe 2 if we release 2 shows. The only other thing that's going to be in there besides the intel brief is if we have a new product or something like that. But like I said, it's a free CIA intelligence brief. Sign up. Links in the description or in the comments. We'll see you in the newsletter. All right, Tig, we're back from the break, and we're getting ready to get into life after contracting. But, one of the things, I don't know if you've watched any of these, but, one of the things I like to do is talk about, kind of all the struggles that veterans and contractors have coming home, how to fit back in with society. Most of us, it's not a positive story, you know, and being through something like what you went through in Benghazi. I mean, how did that affect your home life and reintegration? How was it coming home? I mean, you had 7-month-old twins.
It was nice because I was able to see them. I mean, we were talking about a little bit on the break, but, it was the first time having kids and dealing with something like that. So, when I remember just being in the back of the car, my biggest thing is like, you start going back home. Normally you just deal with it. I never thought about home. This time it's just kind of like, holy crap, I might never see the kids again. They'll never know who I was, never get to see them growing up. So that shit starts playing in your head.
Were you thinking about that night?
Yeah. Again, sitting in that car, just waiting to roll. And it's just like, now you got to squash it out. You got to stay focused because, again, having kids for the first time it was weird. It was different. But once we started actually rolling, it kind of went. And then when I was in the tower, like during the intervals, your mind starts going back home sometimes, and just like you try to get it out. That way you can just focus. Because if your mind's wandering, somebody comes up on you, man, that's bad.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to stay focused on it. But coming back home.
Real quick, I want to ask one other thing.
Yep.
What prayers did you say over Bubs and Roan?
So I wrote it down at kind of when we were doing the book. I did write it, but I didn't say what it was because at the time, to me, it just felt like it was just something that was between me, them, and God. But it was, Lord, watch over our fallen warriors, for they have made the ultimate sacrifice. Guide them to your side, and help your angels ensure that no more fall tonight. Because again, we just lost 4, and then I don't know like verbatim right off the top of my head, and it was a watch over their families for what they're gonna experience, and just what they're gonna face, just the turmoil they're gonna go through. And my thing was just trying to guide them, back with as much light as possible so they can heal fast and go forward. Because again, Roan, he just found out also that he was just having a kid. So that's kind of some of the stuff that was going through my head, was just the stuff that their family's going to have to deal with back home. Because, to me, I think somebody dying is not, and to me, is not really a sad thing. Because they're actually going home. We're all away from home. Mm-hmm. I'm ready to go home. But when the time is the time. And so, but for me, it's just the turmoil that we kind of deal with when we do lose people. So for them, it's not sad, because again, they're gone, they're home. But for us, again, we're just kind of dealing with how do we move on from things. So what I was kind of thinking about us just being protected because I didn't know what was going to happen. And just for the family, me having kids, knowing he was just getting ready to have a kid and stuff like that. Again, said the same thing over Bub, but I didn't know him, but still same mindset.
Yeah, man. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah. So again, just listen to people. Again, the wife kind of drives certain things out that I usually wouldn't talk about. But again, it goes back to like just stuff like that may help somebody. If it only helps one person, that's enough.
Yeah.
So that's
Do you think about them a lot?
yeah, I would say so. But again, it's when I do my speaking events and saying their names, for me, it keeps them going forward. It keeps them alive. They always say, you're only truly forgotten when your name's spoken for the final time. So
Were you close with Tyrone?
no, yeah, just he was that normal, like I would say, for everybody calls him Master Chief, but to me he's got like a gunny. He just had that gunny attitude. Always had a coffee, so I can only relate to as a Marine Corps side. So. But no, he was always cool, laid back. We talked a lot about cows. I had cattle at the time and stuff. They were actually going to buy some beef from me. But again, 30 days, you kind of get to know people, but not really. Again, my background, I'm very kind of still, I'm more open now, but even back then, I was more kind of quiet, standoffish, didn't trust anybody.
Well, I think we've established why.
So like me getting to know people, it takes a while.
So what was it? What were your struggles coming back?
I never had nightmares. I did have hard time sleeping and getting a pretty good. I think I actually had the TBI from the one in Pesh, that attack. Again, never received medical attention for that whatsoever. But I felt weird after that one. But this one, I think just being around the explosion so close to them and just consistent more. I just couldn't sleep. Again, didn't have nightmares and nothing like that. So for me, it was just kind of just getting medical issues taken care of because I couldn't go to the VA for it because we were contractors at the time. And technically, they didn't want you going to VA because it was still classified. So they picked the doctor that you went and saw. So just dealing with that. I mean, I had all kinds of weird stuff. Like, dude, my body would just swell up, kind of like I had diabetes or something. It was just weird. Like I couldn't wear watches or nothing because my wedding ring couldn't wear because my whole body would just swell up, like just weird.
Just at random? Mm-hmm. What was it from? Did they figure it
They
out?
didn't figure it out. They gave up pretty much.
Were you boozing?
Nope.
Drugs?
Nope.
Nothing.
Nope.
That is almost unheard of.
Yeah, it was weird, man. But then the VA, they gave me they did give me a sleeping pill, but it was like a psychotic sleeping pill. And dude, that's when I actually started dreaming. And I was dreaming about the Benghazi, but it never happened the way, like one time I was climbing through freaking rafters with Roan and even Oz. I'm like, Oz, what the fuck is going on? We never climbed through rafters. Oz wasn't even here, kind of thing. I mean, he was there, but he wasn't like over at the consulate and stuff. And then again, just weird scenarios that were going on, but it was all in Benghazi. And then the last one was, I don't know how my kids showed up. When my kids showed up, I ended up chopping their heads off.
What?
And that was the last time I took it. I woke up and said, fuck this. I never took any sleeping aid ever again.
Shit.
So, again, I think a lot of veterans, they sit there and they say they have this kind of stuff, but they keep taking it. Because you do sleep. I mean, I was sleeping.
Yeah.
But I was like, fuck this. It ain't worth it. So I've never took anything for sleep since. And then it was just that. I mean, just weird medical problems. And I got a thing called relapsing polychondritis, which they don't even know where it comes from. Only like 10 people in our country even have it. So it's an autoimmune that attacks your cartilage. And usually it's already attacked my ears. The next is usually the nose. Then after that, it goes for your esophagus, and that's when you die. So But I mean, they say within about 10 years, if you're still alive, you'll be good. I got another 5 years because that was diagnosed in 2020.
Jeez.
So, but for me coming back, it wasn't really difficult. I didn't really have a hard time. Again, for me, honestly, for the whole thing, it was just hearing them getting tossed off that roof. Honestly, out of everything, that's the hardest thing for me. So,
No depression, suicide attempts, nothing.
no. I mean, I'm pretty sure I had some depression. I mean, kind of quit doing what I wanted to do. We got pretty much screwed over on the book and movie deal.
How'd you get screwed over on the book?
Well, we get no residuals from book sales or movie or anything.
Is that from them or is that the agency intervening?
We don't know. According to them, the book didn't sell enough. The movie didn't make enough. So we don't get shit.
#1 New York Times bestseller. It's right on the fucking cover.
Yep. According to them, nope.
It's one of the only movies I've ever watched that has to do with what we used to do.
Well, dude, if you look at the reviews, it's got like 15,000 reviews. And it's still almost 5 stars. But no, the actors, they're making a shit ton of money from it. We don't make. Again, it's just how we got screwed over. I guess the same people that helped us do the book kind of did the movie as well, and we kind of thought we had everything covered in there. But again, just liberal Hollywood fucked us over. I mean, we didn't do it for the money. It's good that story's out there. It's permanent. You can't change it. But yeah, a lot of people think, oh, you get they call it blood money, but even if it whatever. No, we don't get anything from it unless we sell it. Unless you buy it from us directly, we don't get anything.
That's a shame. You guys were involved with the making of the movie, though, correct?
Yep.
How involved?
Once you do the movie, or they're gonna do it, you have to sign your life rights. So you can. They're only gonna do so much, and because they have 100% control. So I like to laugh because I stand my ground on shit. I don't care. So we went in, we talked to Michael Bay. They gave us like the movie script the day before. I don't know how to read a movie script. I don't, I'm reading this stuff and I'm like, I don't know what the hell they're even talking about, because they're talking because again, they're leading up to it. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. I'm not gonna be able to read this the whole night before. We're just going to see them tomorrow. We're going to walk through it, talk through it. So we did. We walked through things. They showed me, what the set was going to look like. I'm like, yeah, this set's not right. So the movie set for the Annex, it's pretty accurate. I mean, that's probably 99% accurate. I was like, well, there's trees here. It's like, we're not doing that, dude. So, but for the most part, the Annex is pretty good. The consulate is pretty far off. But again, you got to do with the layout of the land and stuff like that. So, when we're there, we got to go on set for 10 days, and I was sitting there. They were doing the attack scene, so it was kind of cool to watch. But again, I don't really know, because they're doing the same thing for an hour straight. I don't know how people do it. But anyways, and Michael Bay, as they're filming, whatever, they're doing the whole action thing. He comes walking up and he says, "Hey, so you got shot?" And again, yeah, I got shot. Where'd you get shot? I got shot in the side. He goes, oh, okay, you're going to get shot in the chest. Okay, whatever. So it's just things like that you just really can't control. But so they did it all. And then I think I went home, and then Jack calls me. And he's saying, hey, I just found out that they're not going to put you up on the roof. I'm like, what do you mean? So it's just going to be me up on the roof. And I'm like, no, that ain't going to happen. It's like, and they're not showing that the Delta Force guys threw them off the roof. And I said, well, if they're not going to put me on the roof and show the truth, I don't want nothing to do with it. You can tell them all to fuck off. So next thing you know, I forgot who, the producer guy calls. He says, hey, this is why. I'm like, I really don't care why. If I'm not on the roof and you're not showing what they did, you can fuck off. And I hung up on him. Michael Bay calls. said the same thing to him. And then finally president Paramount, whatever dude's name was at the time, called, and I hung up on him. Yeah, I don't really care. I will not be on, if you don't put me on the roof, don't show what they actually did, you can all fuck off. Well, they fixed it. That's what I mean. It goes back to like, I really don't care. It's like there's a certain ground where people just need to stand, and if they didn't do it, then I just wouldn't promote the movie. I wouldn't want nothing to do with it.
Good for you, man.
So even more now that we don't really get anything from it, but it was just about, like you need to show what really happens. And a lot of things in Hollywood, like Michael Bay's like, well, we're doing it this way because we need to have more action. I'm sorry. I didn't know I didn't know we didn't have enough action for everybody. Like, holy shit. So it's just, but I mean, they did a good job with it. It honored the 4 guys, and that was their biggest thing. They left politics out of it. That was another goal with the book and the movie. We didn't want politics in it because politics were not involved when we were in the middle of the fight. Politics came from politicians. We didn't invite the politics into this. It was everyone else that did it. So again, we were doing the book tour and all this, even the movie, we get hit up, bashed by the left a lot. So, you're doing this because it's political. You did that. I'm like, what the fuck are you guys talking about? It's like we're not going to watch. It's like they don't even give the book or the movie a time because they think it's political. There's nothing political in the book or in the movie, but that's their mindset. And, I remember we got this old lady one time, we were in Boulder, and she came at us saying, yeah, I can't believe you guys left the ambassador to die. You just abandoned him. And I'm just like, he wasn't our job. We risk our lives to go and save them. So it's like a lot of people don't even know what happened, but yet you get yelled at. You get like degraded for something you had no control over.
What the fuck, man?
Yeah. The book tour was interesting.
Sounds like it.
So, but no, I mean, again, coming back home, to me, the hardest thing was just getting the medical treatment. And then trying to do speaking events. Because again, I was a quiet guy. You met Boone, right?
Mm-hmm. Met him several times.
I was quieter than he was.
Are you serious?
Mm-hmm.
That dude does not talk.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah. So again, it took me a while. Like, I mean, when the first 6 months, I think Tonto answered every question that was asked to me. So I think, I've come out of my shell quite a bit. And,
Well, you've got to if you're going to run for mayor.
right?
You better start talking.
I'll probably still not be a typical politician.
God, I hope not. We got way
Plenty of
too many
those.
of those.
Yeah, I mean, then I, get involved in a lot of these other veteran organizations and foundations, and I think that helped quite a bit, because then you're not focusing on yourself, you're kind of helping other guys, and it kind of helps you at the same time. But then you do got some guys. I mean, I did a couple, with Saul Special or Save a Warrior, went to their retreatment. So I did my own things as well as helping other guys. Because again, you want to sit there as a vet and say, oh, you need to go do this. But if you don't do it yourself, you're kind of doing everyone else a disservice. You're being dishonest.
Yeah.
So you still, I mean, if you're going to be part of it, you still got to help fix yourself. Otherwise, you see guys that take their own lives and stuff like that. And it's because, was that one, I think his name was Jocko. He was a pretty good vet that was in the whole 22 kind of thing, helping guys out constantly. The next thing you know, he's gone. It's just again, if you're seeing other people help, I think for me, it helps me knowing that I kind of help them in a way.
Who's this? I mean, I know Jocko, but
it was a different one though, not the one, again, he was from Texas. Yeah, for some reason, that's the name that's coming in my head though. But the other one,
there's been a lot.
Yeah, I know.
Been a lot of them.
It's sad, but some of it I don't always think it's combat related. I think it's home life related. They just don't know how to deal with that portion of it.
Yeah.
At least that's what I've kind of seen. I think sometimes, not the go off on the spouses, but again, I think sometimes the spouses aren't truthful of what happens inside their family life, which again keeps this thing going forward without actually being able to truly fix it. That's my opinion. Just because I've been around it so much and I see so much stuff, guys suffer, they see things, but I think a lot of it's just that stress of the home life, and that's what gets to them.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you deal with any type of survivor's guilt or anything like that?
No, because my mindset kind of goes down like we all knew what we're getting into. We all knew what we wanted to do, and we volunteered to go there. We'd always want everybody to come home when we can, but also I think it goes back to like we didn't have that solid brotherhood either. You're like, I'm not, again, like I don't want active duty guys to say, kind of fuck you. Well, again, we weren't there for a year, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years together, 30 days. You
didn't have time to build that kind of camaraderie.
So it's a little bit different. It still hits you regardless.
Yeah.
I mean, you're still a brotherhood. You want to fight for each other. You're Americans. You're fighting for the same thing. But I just don't want to take that away from other guys that have that. And that's not what I'm saying. Just we didn't have that ability to build that type. But you also got to remember, you all signed up for that job. Death comes with it. It sucks. But having that survivor guilt, I mean, if you passed, would you want him doing the same thing you're doing? For me, it's more about doing better or keep going. I have the thing that always says, always move forward, because if you degress versus progress, it does them a disservice. It dishonors their sacrifice in my mind. So maybe it's just trying to keep on doing. I mean, you're always going to have failures. I mean, you're always going to, it's not every day everything's perfect, but it's just trying to do your best, to honor them by doing better, keep going forward, make things better for our country, make their sacrifice mean something.
What advice do you have for guys kind of getting out, coming home for today?
Have a plan. Have, a lot of guys you talk to is like they get out, they're like, I don't even know what the hell I'm going to do. If you don't know, don't get out. That's the worst thing you can do. Have something in mind to go and do. Because that's what I hear the most out of a lot of guys, even retired guys. But they don't have to worry about income, but they're just kind of like, I don't even know what to do. It's like,
yeah,
you knew you were getting out at least a year before he got out. My thing is you have to start planning for something.
Yeah.
Don't go to college. Go to a trade school. Just if you don't have an actual skill. I started in HVAC. It was all, hands-on labor stuff, but I'm not a college kid, so I went to a trade school, but you learn the job you want to know. Versus, a lot of college, you got to take 20, 30 other courses and it costs you an extra $200,000. It doesn't have nothing to do with what you want to learn. But for guys, just have a plan, man. Don't just get out. That's the dumbest thing you can do. If you don't have a plan, you better stay in. Because that's my opinion.
I think that's good advice. So you're running for mayor in Colorado Springs. What prompted that?
I love chaos. No, so, it stemmed initially from 2020, from 2020. So that's why I kind of jumped in 2023. I was very vocal in 2020. I hated the shutdowns. I hated that stupid socialism, lockdown, just infringement crap. It pissed me off. So I did a lot of things in Colorado trying to tell business, just open up. They can't shut you out. And they can't. They can't shut you all down. They can't. Otherwise, they destroy the whole entire city anyways. So I did things up in Denver, pissed off the police up there. One time he called me a stupid, selfish bastard because I was up there. I think I had like 4,000 something people show up, a bunch of dudes on motorcycles. It was a bike ride from all four corners of Colorado. It was pretty cool. And because for the government to tell us that we can't do something is bullshit. We tell the government what it can't do. It doesn't tell us what we can't do. So I started really pushing back on that. And, cops arresting parents in parks with their kids. Yeah, no. Oh, hell no. To me, that's that. You as a cop, you should retire. You need to throw away that badge because you're a disgrace.
I'm with you on that one, man. I can't listen to another person that's just saying, I'm just doing my job.
Oh, no, yeah.
Then fucking quit
Yep. I'm on 100%.
and get a new job.
Your job sheet, well, if you're just following orders, well, you can just go enjoy prison the rest of your life, in my opinion, because you're violating somebody else's rights. That's how I am. I'll back the blue, but again, that doesn't, your lack of knowledge does not supersede my freedoms.
Yeah.
So then, 23 came around. I was starting a new job because I got tired of like traveling so much. And I was taking lunch and I saw on the news, you have like so long to sign up and then so much longer to get the signature you need to, to run for mayor. I think I had like 2 days to get my packet in. And then I had to, like 2 weeks to get my signatures. It was right before SHOT Show. I was like, shit, I'll just do it. So I got up, went down to again, I had no idea what I was just going to do it. Went down there, got the packet, came back, had a friend come over, filled out the paperwork, finished it that night, turned it in the next morning. Got my stuff to go get my signatures, the 200, you had to get 200 signatures. And then I had to come to SHOT Show. So they're doing that. I got like 200 signatures the first weekend when I was gone. Came back, got another 200, turned it in that Monday. And then I got on the ballot, and then they tried to remove me from the ballot.
Why'd they try to remove you from the ballot?
Because supposedly 2 people came in to the administrative office and said I didn't live in Colorado Springs. So I asked them, so who are my accusers? Apparently you can't face your accusers in those incidents. People can just accuse you whatever. So I had to prove that I lived in Colorado Springs for over a year. It wasn't hard.
Seems pretty easy.
Yeah, but I'm just like, this is stupid. And then they tried to fight me on putting John Tiegen on the ballot. I'm like, well, that's a trademark name. I can put anything I want on the ballot. So I got to fight. It was everything I did in the first round was a fight. So anyway, so I got on, I think it panicked a little bit of the other, it's a bipartisan supposedly, or not it's unaffiliated run. But I still think the Democrats kind of freaked out and they saw me jump on, and I think it went up to like $1 million race. I raised like 20 grand, but again, I knew I didn't have a chance. That wasn't the point. The point was to do what I did. And this time I'm doing it again for the same reason. Again, my goal is the mayor can only do so much. And I think people need to realize that, which, when I was running, the questions they're asking you, even from the media, the mayor doesn't have no control over. So that's the hard part for me, was trying to figure out what can the mayor actually, because I'm not a politician. I never wanted to do it. And now I'm just like, screw it, I'm going to do it now. It even pissed me off. But they're asking things like a mayor can't control. That's more like a city council, or that's the county commissioners. It's just like, what's wrong with you people? So, but I want to give more control back to the people, back to the community, and even back to the police. Because if you look and see what happens around this country, especially with police chiefs and certain mayors, they'll tie the hands of cops, and they can't do anything with criminals. They can't do anything. Again, like this mayor, he's tying our police chief's hands, regardless if he wants to admit it or not, because I know people too. He won't allow the local law enforcement to work with federal agents to wrap up these criminals, these illegals. And to me, it's like, no. Police, the number one job is to protect the community. Anyone who's violating our community need to be wrapped up. And again, if they're here illegally, they violated it. So my goal, in a way, I don't know, again, still looking into things, but trying to make it to where even though the mayor may still pick the police chief, he can't dictate what he does. Like, as long as he's within the Constitution, the mayor has no control. You shouldn't have to control that police chief, just like a sheriff. You can't control the sheriff.
Yeah.
But people say, well, you need to be able to make sure your town's taken care of. It's like, as long as you put in there, like, he has to abide by the U.S. Constitution, the state Constitution. That's all he needs to do. That's what you should be doing anyways. The mayor shouldn't be stopping, shouldn't be hindering, shouldn't be influencing, shouldn't be doing a damn thing with law enforcement. So again, it's just like the president kind of having control over the FBI and having them do a raid on a former president because he wants to. That's bullshit. You shouldn't have that type of control, because that's what happens. You had during 2020, you had the Seattle police pulled completely out, and you had a Nation of Chaz show up. It's like, no, that they're there to protect the community. The mayor should not be telling that police chief to pull. The police chief should be doing their damn job, protecting the community. And then, just the infrastructure and all that stuff. And I got a little ways to go, but I got 2 years to prep, and I have like 8 issues I'm looking into that people complain about. But so,
well, I'm sure you're going to do well. So I'm excited to see how it goes.
People say, well, it should be easy. It's a military town, but we have 5 military bases. But again, it's the military don't vote. They vote, but not for Colorado Springs. They vote for the state they come from. That's the problem. Yeah, it's a military
Make an
town.
announcement, get them to register.
Right. I know when I ran the first time, I think it was about 100 people came up, said, I'm voting for the first time ever because you're running.
Good.
So that felt pretty good.
I'll bet it does.
So
What's your wife think about you getting into politics?
So she was going to run for a seat, for a state seat.
No kidding.
And she would have won. I mean, she would have smoked them, anybody that was going to run against her. I mean, she's been involved in the political community across the whole state for about 5 years now. She helps organize like churches and stuff to kind of get more involved in politics because they've been too scared. They don't realize the rules and stuff. But
It's a big voting block.
oh yeah, it's huge. Actually, I'm doing well. I'll get into that in a second. But so she's been involved with that, and she got asked to do that, and I was like, well, cool, because I'm gonna run for mayor. I'll win mayor. You'll be up there with good powerhouse. But then she's kind of like, yeah, I'd rather just stay home, and I'll just help you. Because I get it. I mean, that would cause a little bit of a separation between us, her doing that, me doing this. Mm-hmm. So she's like, and plus, she does a lot of praying and stuff. And she's like, it never came to me to actually do it. It was more of my decision, and it's not something that God's leading me to. So I'm stepping back. I'm not going to do it. So now she's just pretty much like just going to help me do it. And she's actually going to business school right now too. So
Right on, man.
yeah, she's a blessing.
I got a good feeling about this.
Yeah, I think it's going to be strong.
I think you're going to get it.
Yeah, now I'll have a team. I mean, we're getting a solid team because it's not just about the one person. To me, the mayor is just a leader. Everybody else does the work. It's just making sure like that everybody does what the constituents want. Where nowadays it kind of seems like politicians they get in there and then just kind of do what they want.
Yeah, it sure as hell does seem like that, doesn't it? On both sides.
Yep.
It's a fucking disaster.
Because they want to please everybody. You're not there to please everybody.
It's favors.
Yeah. So just get there, do what needs to be done and what should be done, and what the voters want is what they get.
Yeah.
So
We're wrapping up the interview, but out there we were talking about your son or your kids,
Mm-hmm.
twins, and just want to see if you have anything you want to say to them.
never give up. Always push forward. Your life's hard. Sometimes you get knocked down, just always got to get back up.
Well, dude, I wish you the best of luck, man. And I just want to say thank you for coming.
Well, thank you, man. Appreciate it.
It was an honor, truly.
Oh, yeah. Cheers.
No matter where you're watching Shawn Ryan Show from, if you get anything out of this, please like, comment, subscribe, and most importantly, share this everywhere you possibly can. And if you're feeling extra generous, please leave us a review on Apple and Spotify podcasts.